The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93
You know what day it is?
Today's Wednesday.
Good morning. I'm Deja Jones.
And I am Deja Jones. Thanks so much for tuning in.
You're Deja Jones.
Oh, my bad. I definitely just Ron Burgundy'd it just now. Wow.
What's it like to be Deja Jones?
That energy drink is hitting me.
I was choking on a banana a couple of years ago. Remember I told you? Kid you not. Captain Awesome saved my life.
For the weekend, anything exciting?
Oh, my niece's surprise birthday party.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so that'll be nice.
But not a
fun.
surprise if she's watching this.
Oh, goodness me, I've spoiled.
The police and fire charity game will take place. Cheers for the guns or the hoses. They're not hose. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Guns and hoses.
It's showtime, baby.
All right, well, this can't be right, but says here in front of me, and it actually made a reference in the intro as well, says here it's Wednesday. Doesn't sound right to me, but welcome anyway to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Don't be surprised to hear Janelle Klein on our program later on this morning. She says she's going to swing by. She's pretty pissed.
Oh, no. Oh, no, why? That's too bad. Well, I know she's, they send her on assignment, and it's never one she wants to go on.
She's pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
We'll probably hear about it.
She's tired of that.
Yeah, she never gets sent to go, host the puppy parade or anything like that.
Well, I think there's other things that she's mad at, and we'll find out. But overall, she's pretty upset.
I thought this Wednesday showed up pretty quick. I hope it went quick for you guys as well and everybody listening.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot, Cubby, how you're coming off right now.
Well,
you're always thinking about other people.
Trying to have a positive attitude on a day that Janelle is enraged.
Yeah.
Oh, pissed.
Well, let me ask you something, Josh, now. How have your television program viewing experiences been treating you lately?
Well, so the weekend is when I really hit it. We try and do
Man, you go through a lot of television programs on the weekend.
Yeah, well, it's stupid. We'll start like at 8 p.m. and we'll go till 2 a.m. or one of us falls asleep. There's me, 3-4 girls in the bed. We all fall asleep and decide, all right, we'll pick it up where we left off tomorrow night.
Are you usually the last one awake? You make it through 2 a.m.?
I'd say it's 50-50 between me and my wife.
And then you're up bright and early at 6 again.
That's right.
How do you know when a guy doesn't drink? You know what I mean? There's one way to know when a guy doesn't drink. 2 a.m., he finally crashes. 6 a.m., he's the first swinging D bouncing around the house. You know what I mean?
But last night, we made a rare exception and watched something on a weeknight, believe it or not, and decided it would be smart to start a movie at 9 and watch the new Ghostbusters.
Oh, I watched that over the weekend.
I had heard it wasn't very good. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, that's good.
The new Ghostbusters, now I haven't followed the Ghostbusters since the 1980s. They're pumping out. This has become like Star Wars. They're pumping a new version of the Ghostbusters out, to me at least it seems, every couple of months.
Yeah, it's more like every couple of years, but yeah. So Frozen Empire was the most recent one, 40 years after the original. And they paid tribute to the original a couple times.
It's on Netflix now,
cute.
right?
Yeah, it just came out on Netflix.
Okay. Ghostbusters has a new movie. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murrah.
Yep. Paul Rudd's in there.
Paul Rudd.
Not one of the originals, but he's one of the stars. And then Ernie Hudson.
Ernie.
I love Ernie Hudson.
I know you do.
I'm a big, big fan. I hope I run into him. People say he lives here in Burnsville.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
I want to see him and give him a high five. Well, maybe I shouldn't do that. I'd feel like a dork, but I'll just tell him how much I love him and then run away.
Yeah, do that.
The reason why I was asking about your television programming viewing experiences lately, the reason I was asking about that, and all the rest of you can play along with this too, and let me know what you're going through. Oh, it was a conversation on hobbies and how much money you're dumping into different hobbies. And one of the hobbies that this article covered, streaming services. And The direct line here from the article says, the embarrassing amount of money spent each month on streaming services. Now, I can't contribute to this conversation. I've got some kind of streaming happening on my televisions, but the friggin' wife, she handles all of that. I don't know anything about how to make that happen or what money is leaving the house for those streaming services. So is it quite ridiculous? Because all of yous love to watch programs. Is it ridiculous?
Yes. And they seemingly go up every month now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the prices do keep changing.
You keep getting the notification like, oh, we've updated our price model. You'll now be paying this much a month.
Is anyone comfortable talking about what they're dumping out a month?
I have to be spending at least like $150 at least. And that's because I'm an idiot and I have no idea how much I spend because I just sign up for crap. Because I'm like, oh, like that's a free trial. I'll cancel it in 2 weeks and then I never cancel it.
Nobody's ever canceled anything ever.
Trust fund, baby, huh?
There's a lot of ways where you can like bundle your streaming services. So you're paying a lot less, but you are paying for like 3 at a time with one account. But I have no idea. It's too much work for me to go through all my stuff. So I'm just going to keep paying an outrageous amount.
You know what you need, Ashley?
I need a financial advisor.
You need a friggin' wife.
Yes, I do.
Because
I
was the
yours?
same. Yes, you could probably hire her to handle your. She's very business savvy. She probably could handle your finances.
So
I'd be happy the same way she's handling ours.
All the money that Ashley saves on the streaming services of canceling, she just gives it to your friggin' wife.
Ashley, I was the same way. On my own, I had no idea what was happening with my money. I was so irresponsible with money, where it was wonderful to have the friggin' wife look over my bills and things like that and say, okay, this is stupid. You don't need this. Why are you paying so much for this? Really, honestly, it was wonderful because I would never have the presence of mind or the patience or the know-how to straighten that kind of a thing out. She did it for me. I was the same way when I was living all on my own. So $150 a month doesn't sound that bad to me.
So if you take out the cost of internet, right? I mean, that's a major expense. But if you're talking just like what you pay for the services, I'm probably around $100 a month.
Yeah, I'm around 100.
And between bundles and all that, we've got a lot of them. There's a couple, so we share it with the us and all the kids and everybody. Unfortunately, everybody watches a different streaming service. So like I've tried to get rid of a couple, but somebody watches this or somebody shows her on that.
What do you think of this approach? Here's a listener that says, sign up for a free trial, and that goes, 30 days, and then you cancel, and then you just do that again. You just keep you keep cycling through free trials.
Yeah, but then you'd have to keep making email accounts.
Yeah, that's how you got to do it, right? You have
use different emails.
All of a sudden, Dana has 30 email accounts. But we had Stars for a while, and I was paying $1 a month. They'll have these promotions where they get you that way, right? And just they hope you're like Ashley and forget about it.
Then all of a sudden they jump it up to like $30 a month.
Exactly.
You're like, wait, what am I paying?
Only losers watch overpaid winners. Jesus, this guy's got to stick up his ass about something. I don't know what it is, but by the name he goes by, he's got to stick up his ass. Sign up for the free trial, cancel it immediately, and then it will expire a week later automatically. That's the way he approaches it.
That's smart.
Yeah, they let you go through the trial usually, right? You sign up, you cancel, and they say, okay, well, right after June 4th, you no longer can watch this.
He's like a buddy of mine when we were young. Anytime we'd go camping, he'd go buy a tent at Target. We'd go camping, and then he'd return it. Yeah, there's something wrong with this tent, right? And then they'd give him his money back.
I know people that have done that for the Super Bowl with televisions. They buy a TV they can't afford.
It was so annoying. Hey, let's go. We're going here. We're going there. Oh, I got to swing by Target and get my tent. And then return it when we get. Yeah, I'll return it. And then give me my money. But yeah, I get the gimmick. I understand.
So I read the article and I was trying to see if there was anything similar. For me, I don't know if you'd call it a hobby, but definitely what I spend the most on are like computer programs related to work. Like if you want to talk subscriptions and things like that, because I kind of nerd out about that, or equipment. I always like to try out new stuff.
It's something that you love. You're passionate about it. Good for you.
So whether that's like, buying a new microphone here or there or some sort of, something related to work at home.
And it helps how you operate at work.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's how I justify it, right? Because I can go, this is a work-related expense. So I definitely need to try this out or whatever it is.
Well, but if it's something that you truly love, you don't have to justify it.
So I was trying to think, that's really my...
Or does the wife crawl up your ass about how much money you're spending?
No, she's the worst.
Oh!
I mean, honestly, I could say, you know what I decided? I can't pick between these two motorcycles. I'm just going to get them both and maybe a third. And she'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean... It's your money, whatever you want to do. She's the worst at. Sometimes I want her just to say no.
Oh.
Just say, no, that's ridiculous. You can't.
She's a laid-back personality.
She is.
Now, again, I know nothing about the costs of things like cable and things like that. I just don't. Again, that's not my problem. I got the friggin' wife for that. And God bless her for it, because I am clueless. Really awful. I heard a story about a friend of mine the other day that he was coughing up somewhere around $500 a month on some kind of television entertainment. I don't know if it's cable or streaming. Again, I'm not the guy to ask these questions to. $500 a month.
Dude, you got a little bit of everything if you're spending $500 a month.
Okay, is that right? Is that
definitely.
so that's extreme?
Yeah,
We have almost... pretty much any streaming, like the big ones, right? Like your Netflix, Prime Video, Peacock, stuff like that. And like I said, I don't think I'm at $100 a month. Maybe close.
Oh, God. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
But like Ashley said, there's bundles, things like that. Sometimes you can get quite a few things. Maybe not all streaming. Like you get a streaming service that's paired up with, cloud-based storage and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Few different services.
A few people are texting in with what I would imagine is the latest shady way to access channels and streaming and things like that, like the old cheater box from back in the day.
Oh, those are great.
I don't know that. I don't want to say it out loud in case it gets someone in trouble. A couple people are texting about a certain service, a certain gimmick where you get everything for free. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There are ways around that, yeah.
I don't want to call medical device Jesus out, but there's a particular listener whose name I will not mention who taught me how... Oh, my God, I mentioned it.
You did.
Who taught me how to watch movies for free. And I brought this up before. I did it once, and then I felt so guilty about it. I bought it in every format. So I'd make up for it. And never watched it again.
You definitely weren't the guy that was on Napster right back in the day, were you,
No,
Josh?
I never did that. Yeah, I bought it name the format that it was available in, I bought it.
You got a laser disc of it?
So I've never done that again.
So people are texting in, what they're paying for whatever service they prefer, or maybe they don't prefer it, but they don't have any other choice. Wow, it's a lot of money these days. It's...
Well, I know a lot of people that they quit cable. They said, I'm going to cut the cord. I'm going to go streaming only because cable's getting too expensive. And then when they added up all that they're paying for streaming, they're paying more than they did for cable back in the day.
Yeah, especially if you want to watch sports, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's the big one right now, especially with the Twins because it's tough to watch them.
Mm-hmm. So again, and also I'm getting text messages on certain gimmicks. I don't know this for sure, but it sounds to me like kind of iffy, shady ways to get away with this and that. And yeah, it reminds me of the old cheater box days. My damn. The cheater box was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, the kid in our grade that had the Spice Channel at an early age, man, he was the most popular guy in school there for a couple of years.
I never knew anybody that actually had it. It's just all of us would, squint and really perk our ears up to try and hear something or see just a half a boob.
Yeah, watch it through the fuzzies or whatever, yeah. Uh-huh.
I loved the cheater box until the day that I fell asleep in front of the hardcore porn channel, fell asleep on the couch in front of the hardcore porn channel on the day that my ex-wife had a girlfriend come to town. And she walked into the house. Hello? Anybody home? I'd completely forgotten that my my ex-wife had a friend coming to town to stay with us for the weekend. And I wake up on the couch, and she's standing over me. Hi, I'm here. I completely forgot she was coming to town. There I am, laid on the couch. Luckily, I was just legitimately sleeping. And on the television is like just 6 people mangling each other's genitals in the highest definition that 1998 could provide. Oh my God, that was embarrassing.
Has that happened to you twice, where your wife went to watch a VHS tape?
Oh God, that was way worse. You're right though. So yeah, there I was, just out cold. Oh God. I'll give the gal all the credit in the world. She didn't act like there was anything shady going on. She didn't act like there was. She didn't act embarrassed or anything. So,
if that was a porn movie, like the scene you're describing, she'd make love to you in that moment. That sounds like a plot to a porn movie.
But you're right. There was another incident with my ex-wife from, this is 25 years ago or more. That one was worse because my ex-wife had a friend different than the one who caught me sleeping in front of hardcore pornography. She had another friend. They liked to get together at our place to watch, I think it was Friends or something silly like that, right? That was their thing. Come on over, we're going to watch Friends. And they'd record it on a VHS tape. Why, they suppose. A lot of us did that back in the day. Record your favorite television show on a VHS tape.
That's all you had, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It wasn't like you could just watch it whenever you want like you can now.
Right, you had yourself convinced you were going to watch it again some other time. Anyway, I was gone on this particular night. My ex-wife and this gal friend sat down in front of the television and hit record on the VCR to watch Friends and recorded at the same time. And I had left a hardcore porno movie in the VHS machine, in the VCR. So when they tried to hit play record, they're like, well, this isn't working. Why isn't it? They thought they had their regular tape in there. No, I had left a hardcore porn in there. And so when they hit play record, it didn't work.
I forget, how did they handle that one? Like professionals, or were they not too excited?
The ex-wife was not excited about that one.
Yeah.
So she ended up playing this hardcore porno in front of her girlfriend. And obviously the answer was, they all knew whose fault this was. The ex-wife really went after me on that one, I think because the girlfriend that she watched Friends with, she was really embarrassed. She was really embarrassed. This girlfriend that she watched Friends with meant, a lot. I don't know what it, you know what I'm saying? Like
these friends are a lot closer than I remember in the last episode.
Yeah, right.
The one where they all banged each other.
And they all have fake boobs.
Yeah.
This also happened to you again somewhat recently, to a lesser extent, where your current wife was cleaning some stuff out and found your porn collection and sent a picture of it.
Well, that was Playboy magazines,
right.
So
I said to a lesser extent.
Yeah. She.
And she does not. She's very clear. She does not like whores.
No, she's got something against whores. She makes that very clear. Yeah, that was my Playboys. So yeah, I've gotten into trouble once or twice. Yeah, the episode with the VCR, that one, for whatever reason, my God, when I got home, I was just hollered at over that, I said, what the hell? Sorry, for Christ's sake.
Did she know you watched porn, or was that a surprise to her, too?
She knew I watched porn. Yeah, she knew I was into that kind of thing.
Anybody here who watches porn, maybe now or in the past? Well, I suppose now on the radio you've mentioned it before, but have you ever hidden that from a significant other, or felt you just couldn't be honest about it?
No.
Never?
Nope.
Silly.
One time I accidentally pulled up Pornhub in the Vikings media room.
Just because it was like the last thing you were looking at or something?
Well, so this is like 2010. I was covering the team at the time, and us reporters, we were walking back to the media room after some type of press conference, and some news broke on ProFootballTalk.com. And I was the one that had my laptop open, so everybody's kind of crowding around, like looking like, hey, pulled up. So I type in PRO for Pro Football Talk, and I just hit enter because that usually pops up. But I actually hit POR and then hit enter, and it popped up whatever I had last watched on Pornhub.
Oh, it's like, no, we know what you really want to watch.
Awkward.
Got incognito mode.
I don't like picturing you masturbating.
No.
Wapple, different answer for you, though.
Ooh,
strangely enough.
Well, then check this out.
Back to this conversation on money-consuming hobbies. We started talking about streaming services and the money that we dump every month out for that or cable or whatever you're into. Back to these money-consuming hobbies. Some of the other things mentioned, crochet.
Yeah, that was big during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I have some friends.
cross stitch.
Yeah, I have some friends that are big into that.
The knitting and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I mean, if you hunt or fish, you're putting some money into that for
Yeah,
sure.
that's true.
I mean, golf.
Golf, that's
Golf's
a good one.
insane.
So expensive.
Hunting.
Just like a round of golf can be like $60.
Yeah, I guess if you want a cart, but who walks in?
And then also the equipment, the clubs, balls,
Yeah.
everything.
All right. Yeah, golf is mentioned in here. Magic the Gathering playing cards, whatever those are.
Those are very expensive.
I
if
never
you
knew
get good
those.
ones.
Oh, really? I never knew
yeah.
those were expensive.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon where you would get the holographic ones and.
Oh, all right.
What else is in here? Horses.
I imagine
horses.
those are expensive. Yeah.
Pardon me?
I'm not in a financial bracket where I would really understand how much a horse costs, but I'm guessing it's quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I know Equestrian cheeses. She's nice enough to listen to the show, but I've only known a couple people who have that's been their thing. So I can't imagine that's super common, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I heard that you have to pay for like the boarding and all the food, so it's basically like another house payment.
Well, yeah, you're right, because one of the people I know, was more of a gift for his wife, where he bought her a horse, and like you said, they live in the city, so they can't have the horse there, and the boarding and the food. He had mentioned specifically the food. It's crazy expensive.
Oh.
I know a guy who had horses his whole life.
Did he grow up somewhere where he could just have them on his property?
Yes. And, well, I guess I know a few guys.
Do you really?
Yeah, but this one in particular, he hated them. He hated
why?
just because he hated caring for them. It was a lot of work. He had no passion for horses. He didn't care at all about horses, but his folks loved them. And he was the guy that always had to take care of them. His dad passed, and then the responsibility fell even more squarely on his shoulders to take care of these horses. And it drove him nuts. He friggin' hated them. It was always funny going over to his place and watching his frustration as he's caring for these horses that he didn't want there in the first place, right? Now, also, his mother unfortunately passed. God rest both of their souls. And when his mother was on her way out, she was, facing death, for Christ's sake. She still had a sense of humor. When the family was all together, right there towards the end, she said, knowing that the horses now were going to be fully the responsibility of her son, who did not like them, he made it very clear, she said, something tells me those horses might be close behind me.
Oh, that's good.
People are texted in about video games and how much one person spent $40,000 on video games. And at Wapple, I know you and Ashley are both big gamers. And I remember when it was tough to get a PS5, I happened to be at a Best Buy and they had a ton of them. So I called him like, hey, you want me to pick you up one? I mean, what was that, like $500 or more?
Yeah, 600.
Okay, for the console.
Six
and then,
or seven, yeah.
Right, and then the games. And do you pay like any online?
I have PlayStation Plus, so that's $60 a year. And then, I mean, maybe like a new video game every month. So, I mean, that's $70.
Okay, Jacob just texted in, and he says that they pay about $1,000 a month to board and then lessons for one horse.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Also on the in the mix here on money-consuming hobbies, alcohol, cocaine. How about this?
There's a rich guy, a mutual friend of ours, who he's like, hey, man, can we go to lunch? Like, I just need to talk to you about something. And I was concerned, obviously. And so we go. He's like, how did you quit drinking? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, since you're sober now. I'm like, well, I've never really drank. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, I have an issue. And he was spending the $15,000 a month. Now, like I said, he's loaded. So to him, that might not be a lot. $15,000 a month on alcohol and cocaine.
Dude, that's crazy. A lot of that's got to be the coke.
And he's a real, yeah, I would think so. And he's a super nice guy, and he likes to be the life of the party, and he always has. Well, he's since then, luckily, he's kind of changed his ways, but he's like, I've got a family now. I can't keep doing this, but I like to be the guy that buys for everybody. So I'll buy around for the bar, or I'm the guy that brings the coke and stuff like that. And I kind of wish I had a better answer for him.
A cooler story.
I half thought about saying, well, here's what I did, because I really had a problem.
I really bottomed out, man.
So I was no help whatsoever. But can you imagine that? That shocked me. $15,000 a month.
That's insane.
Well, I don't really know. I don't know what the average would be.
For just drinking or for all that stuff?
I guess for just drinking. I mean, now I'm wondering.
First and foremost, you got to make $15,000 a month, unless you got a ton of credit cards or something.
I'm trying to put together in my head. My drinking is nothing compared to what it used to be. But I'm trying to put together in my head. I'm trying to picture my friend who does the most beer drinking. I can picture him. I know how many he can blow through in 3-4 hours, and it's insane. I wonder what that adds up to. Maybe I'll try to do that.
Does he go out or do it at home? Obviously, that'd be a big difference. Okay, so yeah,
always out.
Then he's tipping and it's
always out. More. Yeah, always out. Maybe I'll try to put that together in my head and get back to you. Here's a guy saying demolition derby. That's a big expensive hobby. You guys were dicks to me and Cubby back in the early 2000s.
One guy in particular.
No, all of them.
Oh, I just had the one guy.
You guys weren't very cool to me and Cubby back in the early 2000s when we got into demolition derby. I think you were probably a little threatened that we might take over the sport.
Yeah, I had the guy that was running the thing, this old grizzled fella. He was yelling at me and calling me names because I couldn't get the vehicle started. Right?
Oh, that was your fault.
Yeah, and so he jumped in this thing. I'll show you how it's done, and then he couldn't get the vehicle started.
Nice.
So he just broke my stick, and then that was it. And even though I had the broken stick, people were still hitting me. Maybe you're right. They were being dicks.
They were dicks to us. But I can imagine that would be expensive. Like I said, Jungle Jane going to be here a little bit later. It's a Wednesday. You're a terrific crowd. We'll return here in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.
Welcome to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. Well, let's get into season 4, episode 21, Forever.
Is there a button we can hit that just skip?
I know. What I'm surprised about, and I don't think there's anything he could have done, but James Marshall directed this, and he's directed so many great episodes.
It's collecting the paycheck.
This would have been an epic episode if somehow it was Lex Luthor's high school experience at graduation.
Binge seasons 1 through 4 of Talkville before season 5 begins, wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, we were talking about expensive hobbies a little bit earlier, and we'll get to the stupid news here in a minute or two. Expensive hobbies. A lot of folks texted in what they're spending their money on. Hunting, fishing, guns and ammo. We could go on and on with this. Here's a couple interesting and expensive hobbies that were texted in, 651-989-9393. A listener says, I spend $250 a week for guitar lessons for my 14-year-old daughter.
$250 a week?
Wow. Did you take guitar lessons, Josh?
I did.
Do you have any idea what your folks were paying for that?
Well, I was paying for it, and it was maybe $25 a week.
Yeah, what the hell? Who's your daughter being taught by?
I just wondered,
is Jimmy Page giving your daughter guitar lessons?
Yeah, Steve Vai or Nuno Betancourt. Who's giving your daughter guitar lessons?
I'll tell you the dumbest idea I ever had when I was about a 5th or 6th grade kid, to take drum lessons. That lasted 2 episodes. That was so dumb, but it was my own fault. I really thought we were going to sit right down and play Detroit Rock City and Tom Sawyer, and play along to, oh, for God's sake, the first friggin' meeting I had with this guy was so boring. It was how to position your hands and
do rolls.
It was so dumb. After two pumps, I told my folks, yeah, you can cross that off the schedule. I don't need to be.
So wait, $250 a week?
That's what he says for guitar lessons.
Like a month sounds okay. You could see that nowadays. But a week?
It better be good when that kid comes home.
Yeah.
You better be playing Smoke on the Water beautifully.
Well, maybe more than Smoke on the Water, but yeah.
Bum, bum, bum,
that's anytime somebody picks up a guitar or a bass, that's usually the first thing people try, right? Smoke on the Water.
Yep. Well, I also took one guitar lesson. This was maybe 8th grade. A friend of mine talked me into going to the mall, maybe to Music Land or something, and taking guitar lessons. I made it through one, and that was the first thing we did, was try to play Smoke on the By God Mean Gene Water.
I like to go to Guitar Center from time to time, and you always hear somebody playing Smoke on the Water. I was just there last weekend, and I heard that.
Expensive hobbies. What is this here? A Hole Digger Jesus spends over $500 a month on MTG cards. What is an MTG card?
Magic the Gathering.
Oh, we covered that already.
Super Luber Jesus Legos. Yeah, those are crazy expensive.
Stupid expensive.
Did Hot Mom Slayer Jesus woodworking. I'd imagine that's got to be expensive.
Woodworking?
The specialty tools, and then obviously the price of wood got crazy for a while there.
Well, Balls Mahoney, that sounds quite elaborate.
Any type of racing, that's going to cost you. A lot of people texting in on different things they race.
Did somebody say something earlier about whatever Warhammer is?
Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
It's a video game.
A video game.
Oh, here's what the listener says. I thought maybe someone had said Warhammer.
Yeah, he was. I wonder if it's the same guy that talked about how much he spends. It's like 40 grand.
Well, this guy says a single miniature can be upwards of a few $100s.
Oh yeah, okay. So Warhammer's the board game. Sorry, yeah, I was getting that confused with something else.
Okay,
that makes more sense.
Yeah, where you paint your miniature, because our former Viking stud Chris Cluey was into all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And he would talk about how much he spent on that.
Painting miniatures.
He also did sign a $1 million signing bonus, so he's making more than most of us.
This listener called Warhammer a black hole.
That sounds like such a cool game.
For your paycheck.
That's right, Warhammer. I can't imagine. I have no hobbies, which is kind of sad, but now I'm feeling a little better about it.
Well, yes, you do. You mentioned what your most passionate hobby was earlier. Techie, electronic gimmicks.
Yeah, but that's only, I doubt I'm at $1,000 a year for stuff like that. So I can't imagine spending a few $100 a month on.
Then no wonder you're living high on the
totem pole.
I am a very rich man. At $1,000 a year, that ain't nothing to me.
You got that house on the hill in Egan. House high up on the hill. Skydiving is crazy expensive.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Well, what are you doing that for? What are you, nuts or something?
Why can't you just get your pilot's license, buy a plane, and jump out of it?
Well, funny you say that because people are texting in about how much, if you're a recreational pilot, how much that is. General aviation. This text says nothing like an airplane to make $1,000 feel like pocket lint.
I can't remember who the NASCAR driver is, but he got one of those video game systems where it's exactly like the NASCAR and it has like the bumps that move and everything.
Simulator?
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
those things are insanely expensive.
Yeah, somebody texted in.
iRacing, I think it's called, or something.
Yeah, somebody texted in and said I wish I could remember the number, but it was astronomical. Somebody texted.
Was it Ernie Irvin? I'm joking. Skydiving. Well, what are you doing that for? What are you trying to prove? You're gonna get killed that way, skydiving. Finally, another listener said on the topic of expensive hobbies, Collecting Transformers action figures is expensive.
Bet it is.
Oh, Monster Truck Jesus, thank you. He got back to us. He said it was him. $7,000 he paid for a simulator.
Whoa, man.
I've seen that gimmick before on television, and it does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does.
If you remember when the pandemic came to town and NASCAR took a few weeks off, everyone took a few weeks off, I watched, I'm sure you guys watched it too, right? NASCAR drivers sitting in front of their simulators having a race, and they treated it like it was a real thing with the pit stops and the this and that.
That was so crazy.
I really liked watching those races. I was more dialed in to the simulator races than I am some real NASCAR races. I don't know why, but I was.
Did you ever do the simulator when it was at the mall?
Yeah, once.
Did that a couple times, and actually for my bachelor party, that's one of the things we did. And this dude was dominating, and you can't see. There's so many cars you couldn't see who was who, but this one particular guy, and I thought he must be some sort of racer. He's killing everybody, and there's a few people that were good, right? I was not one of them, but there was people that were really
I wasn't
good.
any good either.
It was way harder than I thought it needed to be. Yeah. Way harder. But this guy was dominating race after race, and he kept winning, and to the point where he had people kind of crowding around him. And so finally I see him step out of the simulator. It was a priest in his full, the whole priest outfit and everything. Well, now that I think about it, maybe it was a bit. But he said he was a priest.
Was his name Father Earnhardt?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
I remember doing the NASCAR simulator at the Mall of America, sure. Popular joint there for a while. I kind of made a jackass out of myself. I walked into the joint and I said, I'm Ernie Irvin. And some other dude said, I'm already Ernie Irvin. And I said, okay, I'll be Ken Schrader.
Hookers, people are saying. They're not cheap these days.
Yeah.
Scuba diving, another one.
Oh,
Whoa.
I bet that's stupid expensive.
Yeah.
This person
Scuba
says,
diving.
just got certified, and my God, I need a second job.
I guess my one main hobby is probably a pool, playing billiards, but that's not very expensive. But what's expensive is when you go out to the bar to play.
Have you thought of just getting your own table? Would that, I don't know how, would that, how long would it take to make up that, that cost, do you think?
See, here's the thing, Josh. We do have our own pool table.
Oh, you just
sometimes it's fun going out,
Sure.
getting out of the house.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I personally don't get the appeal of going out, but I understand other people do like to do that.
At my favorite bar, Pocket Billiards is free Saturday night from 7 to close.
Oh, that's sweet. I need to find a place like that.
Photography, people are saying. Sure, I've heard that.
A lot of expensive hobbies out there, by God.
I have no toys. I want one, but I just don't know if I'd ever use it.
You got a bike recently, didn't you?
Yeah, but I told you day one I put on 2.3 miles, so I had a good start. I still have 2.3 miles.
Still at 2.3?
Yeah.
Too bad you don't have some land or something, Josh. I think you would really like having a side-by-side.
So that's funny you say that. That's what I always dream about, but I've heard it's tough to find a place to go in Minnesota. And I was actually just looking at some online over the weekend, but I'll never pull the trigger. And my goodness, they're more expensive than I thought they'd be.
Yeah.
Why don't you get a golf cart? Go around the neighborhood.
Yeah, I can see you cruise around Egan in a golf cart, Josh.
It's one of those things where I try and look ahead. Even with the bike, I thought, well, I'm probably never going to use this, but maybe it's something me and my son can do, But he doesn't want to spend any time with me, so I haven't been on that thing again. A golf cart would be kind of cool.
Well,
and I could
forget the golf cart.
I could wrap it in something that would make it look like it's right out of Halo.
Oh, dude, get a warthog, yeah.
Yes.
Get a go-kart. Forget about a golf cart. You're not 80 years old yet. Get a friggin' go-kart. One for you, one for my godson, and the both of you go out and get your legs broke for you.
Whatever happened? You and I were going to buy go-karts at the fair a couple of years back. Remember that?
You punked out.
I did?
You said I shouldn't be driving. I'm drunk.
Oh, that's right.
I don't
Josh,
remember. Yes, I remember having that conversation.
To the point where we're doing it. We're fine because we've wanted them for years.
I'll go get a what do you call it? A go-kart?
A go-kart?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I already got all kinds of.
Yeah, you've got some toys.
Yeah, I wonder if you can get e-go-kart now.
I don't care what it runs
I'm
on.
sure
I'll go
can.
get a go-kart with Josh. Okay, stupid news. We got to get around to this at one point or another. We do. So social media dorks will risk death for likes or clicks or whatever the word is. That's a fact. So let's find out the most recent example of how far these idiots are willing to go to be internet famous. That's a pretty good one, too. Here's what the story tells me, at least. The social media morons have been lying on railroad tracks and playing chicken with high-speed trains. And then the idea is the pictures that they take of their obscene acts of desperation will make them a god in the eyes of the 8th graders.
What could possibly go wrong?
I can't think of a single thing.
Remember when folks were doing that on the freeway for a while? Was it The Program, or it was a football movie?
Yeah, it was The Program.
They took that scene out of the movie because too many people were going out there being morons.
One of the worst movies ever made.
Pretty bad.
But yes, folks were mimicking the movie and lying down in the streets, and the idea was cars will drive right over them, meaning over them without them being touched.
Yeah, you go right in between the wheels.
In between the wheels. That didn't work out. People were being killed instantly. But here's the thing. So the story says words like playing chicken with high-speed trains. But I got to say, the videos that I saw didn't show any close calls, so I'm a little confused. The videos that I saw, sure, there are kids simply playing on the railroad tracks, and then, they file off the tracks, and then 10
more
seconds.
train adjacent than anything. You're right. They're on the track, and then there's like several seconds before the train shows up.
As happy as I am to light up social media dorks, this doesn't look any different than how kids have been effing around on railroad tracks since the damn first tracks were laid down in the 1800s. So I don't really get. Like I said, I'm happy to attack social media dorks who do this kind of stuff for attention, but I don't really see much to be upset about here. But a series of video clips have been going round and round like they do, video from the train station. And the videos show kids effing around on the tracks, at the railroad crossing. This is in a place called Nottinghamshire. I can't be sure that this is English, but it sure sounds that way to me. So, kids effing around on the tracks, posing for pictures and whatnot. It says here in one video, the train driver, it's an engineer for Pete's sake, friggin' English. The train driver. Anyway, the engineer repeatedly sounds the horn right before a woman scrambles out the way. Several other people are in videos trying to outrun the passing trains. Now, I didn't see that video. But the local railroad company released the videos to raise awareness about the dangers of playing on the tracks. And it is very dangerous. I'm just saying, I think this was clickbait. It doesn't look any different than the way we behaved on the railroad tracks when we were kids.
You don't see a lot in cartoons anymore that we used to see a lot as kids? The woman tied up on the railroad tracks. That really went away.
Yeah,
that was a trope for a long time.
That was a big thing.
That was always fun to play out when I was playing with dolls, too.
You'd lay them out on fake railroads or the real ones?
No, fake ones.
Why was that, though? There was always a lady tied up on a railroad track somewhere.
You're right. It was a common gimmick for many years in cartoon programming. Yeah, when I was a little kid, I really thought, well, if you ever get tired of your wife, just tie her up and put her on the railroad track.
It seemed like almost an epidemic.
Yeah.
If you're a villain, that's the first thing you have to do is find a woman, tie her up, and put her on the railroad tracks.
I remember thinking, why aren't they going after these people, tying up women and putting them on? It's happening all the time.
Now, speaking of the railroad tracks again, one of the most, how should I say this, critical moments of my life came from a day at the beach where we were 6th grade kids, 7th grade kids, and in Wayzata, of course, there's a set of railroad tracks that run right along the beach there, Wayzata Bay. One of the most critical moments of my life was effing around that day, train rolling through town real slow. And I wanted to show off to my friends and the chicks that we were hanging out with that day. Wanted to show them how wild I was, so I jumped onto the side of the train, hanging on to the ladder type gimmick that they've got on the side of rail cars. And it was a lot of fun. Hey, yay, look at me. What I didn't know is how quickly those effing things can accelerate. And I just felt the immense power of that machine kick into a higher gear. Sure, while I was waving and doing my gimmick up there, it was just still creeping. And then all of a sudden, and it was a fight or flight, if that's the term. It was this critical moment where if I don't jump right now, I will end up in South Dakota. And I came real close to punking out. But I jumped. And luckily, I didn't break anything. It was just the dumbest damn thing that I ever did, because I remember it like it was yesterday. I came very close to just diving into the railroad car and riding it out, because it was that scary how quickly we were moving along.
Well, you buried the lead. Were the girls impressed?
Yes.
Nice.
I would have been pretty impressed by that.
Yes.
So my stepkids, their dad worked for the railroad for a long time, and he took us a few times on the train, and I laughed like a kid. I mean, I was like a little kid. It was so much fun.
You got on the train?
Yeah. And you taught me about, like, when you honk, how much you're supposed to honk, like a lot of the rules of the rails. I felt like an insider.
Well, rail rules.
And it was crazy how many women we rolled over that were tied to the track.
There are always women tied up.
It's almost every mile.
All right, here's another video for you. That's all the world is made of today, video after video after video. In stupid New Zealand, a lady had to confront a cell phone repair store worker dude. She had to confront a cell phone repair shop worker dude after he was allegedly trying to airdrop private filthy pictures of the lady from her phone to his phone.
No, what a scumbag.
Bro.
When I was a young man, and I didn't at the time, of course, you don't really realize some of these things until you think back as an adult. There was a guy at a 1 hour photo place inside of a store, a convenience store, and he would call us over back in the day. And so I was maybe an 8th or 9th grader. And he'd say, hey, check this out. And he had portfolios of dirty pictures that he would develop, right? He kept all these. And I remember us thinking, like, wow, what a wonderful perk to this job, not realizing how disturbing that was, not only that he was taking people's private photos, but also that he was showing them to children. I'm going to guess this guy was in his late 50s.
Oh, that's very worrisome.
I knew a guy who worked at a computer repair shop, and he said there was one guy that worked there. He had an external hard drive that he would basically take everybody's homemade porn when they brought their computer in and put it on this hard drive, and he just had this massive collection of stolen porn.
Did he ever get busted?
I don't know.
Your dude,
hopefully.
That is creepy.
Your dude was in his 50s.
Oh, maybe even more.
He couldn't wait for the 8th graders to swing by so he could show them naked ladies.
Yeah, and it never occurred to me until I was older how disgusting that was. I mean, I remember thinking, this doesn't feel right. You know, he's violating these people's privacy, but that didn't really stop us from looking. But later on, I thought, we were just kids, man. And this guy, I mean, he had a big white beard and everything, so he could have been even older than late 50s.
Big Santa Claus showing you porn.
All right, so I don't know if any of you saw this video. The lady confronts the cell phone repair shop worker dude. She claimed he was trying to airdrop private filthy pictures of her from her phone to his phone. So the lady, by God, she handed off her phone at the shop there. It needed some type of repair. A couple days later or whatever, she gets back to the shop. She realized that a dirty picture of herself had an airdrop failed notification attached to it. This led her to believe that the worker dude had tried to send himself something to tug off with. In the video, she confronted the worker. Bro, the manager of the cell phone shop got involved. He defended the worker and said more or less, lady, nothing happened here. So, now we've got a pissing match. Eventually, get a load of this. Eventually, the worker bro who was being accused of airdropping private photo, the worker bro fainted. Oh, it's too much for me. And he goes down.
And then they tied him up and threw him on a railroad track.
What a disgusting allegation this is.
He fainted. Now, Josh, was this dude was he doing like the fake heart attack gimmick that get people out of conflicts?
Like from Curb Your Enthusiasm? I don't know.
Do you think this was a real fainting, or was it dramatics to try to get out of the conflict? I don't know. In the video, you see the manager of the cell phone shop, tending to his coworker after the man supposedly fainted.
I thought it probably was fake, but I got to tell you, my grandma, under just a little bit of stress, she would faint. She would have anxiety attacks. As a matter of fact, I have epilepsy, for people that don't know, and I was diagnosed, or they thought, and I thought too, because my parents would just say, you probably had an anxiety attack. Your grandma has it. You're kind of anxious. That's probably what it was. And then eventually I found out, no, I was having seizures. It was epilepsy.
Well, yeah, I can understand your grandma going down skis now and again. That's what old people do. This cell phone worker bro appeared to me to be about 24 years old.
Yeah, I think he was faking this.
After all the hubbub, the cell phone worker bro was suspended for allegedly trying to download a customer's intimate photos. So I guess, I don't know, either they found out he really was guilty of it, or they just suspended him to get this lady to shut up. I don't know.
Do you have you saw the picture of the lady, obviously.
Yeah, she's odd looking.
Oh, really? I was going to ask if you had a four-word Borat-inspired way to describe her.
You know what, Josh? I love to say, "Wah, wah, we will" on the radio. I do, but this gal didn't really grab me. Something about her look didn't appeal to me.
I think she was a little too plastic.
Yeah.
But she was just, if she would have left that alone, I think there could have been a wah wah wee wah.
Yeah, you thought maybe I would love her because of her massive can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had a big butt. But
That's
maybe
what I mean. Yeah, can.
Oh, I was thinking cans because they'll stand out. Her breasts are enormous.
All right.
You guys got to see a picture of this lady.
She's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I would.
So, of a 1 or a 0, she's a 1.
Yeah, I would. It's just I didn't get a case of the wah wah wee was like I often get. I'll dump this info on you. I guess before you see it on the Travel Channel or some lame Food Network or something like that. It's valuable information, I guess, if you somehow find yourself in Thailand and you're in need of a bite to eat.
And you might. Thailand's one of those places, like Nashville, right? It seems like people are going to Thailand. I know so many people that have gone to Thailand. Yep. I've heard it's an awesome place that's relatively inexpensive to go.
I always hear the prostitutes are cheap.
I've heard that too.
And you got to go to Thailand and have sex with a prostitute. That's what the people that I associate with, that's what they say. No matter what they tell you, when you go to Thailand, don't eat the koi pla.
The koi pla?
The word is... it's the deadliest food on planet Earth. It's a popular effing dish out that way in how did I say it, Thailand.
Why would you ever do this? Especially when you find out how many people die a year from it.
I don't know. Popular, but it also kills people dead. They say here 20,000 people a year die in Thailand from eating this koi pla.
Stop eating it.
The fish is the problem, as you might have already guessed. Fish can be touchy if you don't cook it right and this and that. But more specifically, it's the parasites that live up inside the fish. Parasitic flatworms, don't you know? Those filthy little bastards, once they get up inside your sexy body, they'll just up and give you cancer, and then you drop dead.
Ugh.
Plenty of people in Thailand warn others not to eat the effing lethal garbage fish, but nobody listens. It says here the koi pla is a cheap meal, so folks just rake it into their yaps and worry about the consequences later. I guess I'm personally familiar with that mindset. Right? We all are.
Worry about it later?
Worry about it later.
Yeah, you have hobbies, or you have There's things you do on a daily basis aren't good for you.
Yeah.
And you just, I'll worry about it when it comes to pass.
So we're all familiar with that mindset. Don't eat that. You eat it anyway. Worry about it later. Don't drink that.
Yeah.
Don't smoke that. So this is, it's not like a bizarre theory. F it. If it tastes good, we eat it. Or drink it. What did Jesse James Dupree from Jackal always say at all of his live concerts, Josh? Go!
Rock me, roll me, jackal me off?
What else did he say? Because he's right. He did always say rock me, roll me, and jackal me off. What else did Jesse James, one of my favorite rockers ever, Jesse, what did he say?
Cool, dude. I don't know. What else?
If it feels good, do it.
Do it. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'd heard of the puffer fish. That one's one of the most deadly in the world. People still eat it or whatever.
Yeah, there's a Simpsons episode about that.
I looked it up. That kills 50 people a year.
I made a puffer fish sandwich 2 days ago.
What? Yeah, you don't worry about it.
And you're still here.
I don't care. I'm just going to...
And this kills 20,000 people a year. I don't get it.
It says here a single mouthful of that stinking koi plow fish is technically enough to give you bile duct cancer.
You saw the photos, right, of how they prepare it?
I did not.
Oh, my gosh. So I know we're infamous for ruining breakfast, and I apologize to you for this, the way I'm going to describe it. But I think the best description is it looks like placenta. It's exactly what it looks like. And I've seen it. And my God, what a thing that is.
I had placenta fries with my koi plow sandwich 2 days ago.
You can have placenta.
I did.
My sister-in-law had her placenta made into food and pills and stuff like that. What a Thanksgiving that was for all of us.
I bet.
Boy.
So there you go. Okay, that's... use that information however you like. The koi plow fish in Thailand, it might kill you dead. But folks can't get enough of it. So I guess if you really hate your friends, you want new ones, but you don't know how to go about it, now you know what to make at your next Super Bowl party. Koi plow, they call it.
Come on over, everybody. Got a big pile of koi plow.
Yeah, I'll pass.
All right. Yeah, I'd probably pass on that, too. What was it? Just the other day, I was texting back and forth with our old pal, total dork, but he gets by on his good looks, Jordan Parisi. I was texting with Jordan. What did he eat in Vietnam?
Penis.
He ate, but what was it? It was a cow penis.
Was it elk penis? I can't remember. It was.
I knew it was. Don't get me wrong. I remembered that it was penis, but what did the penis used to be connected to?
I thought it was an elk.
A cow, an elk, a frog, a dog.
It was big.
Frog penis.
He sent me a picture of it. It was an impressive penis.
Good size, huh?
Yeah, I think they call it the Bourne. It's related to like a Nick Bourne penis.
The Bourne penis.
Yeah, just like a Foster's can next to it, doesn't even look big.
I think I got time for one more here. I want to make sure it's the right one. Okay, yeah, that one we can save. Oh, God. Josh, I'm torn now. You tell me. Should we talk about the friggin' dude in New Jersey?
That's disturbing.
It's disturbing?
It's animal related. We're talking animals.
We are talking, but
it's going to enrage Ashley.
I love this guy from Nigeria. So do we want to go? You guys tell me. Do we want to leave this break pissed off, or do we want to leave this break happy? I'm cool with either one. I love darkness and terrible things, so I'm cool with either one.
You know me. I love a happy ending. I'll take any happy ending I can get.
We need one more vote from the other room. Happy ending or pissed off ending?
But here's the thing. Consider this. Like this story, it's going to be everywhere. It probably already is everywhere. So by tomorrow, the New Jersey story.
All right, let's do it.
We'll save the happy one.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to talking about this guy from Nigeria. I'm in love with this guy. I really am. I'm in love with this man we'll tell you about him tomorrow maybe. Okay. This dude, we'll go with the bad news. He must be on the gas or something, or crack rocks or methamphetamine, something.
Awful.
Or I guess it's possible he's just one of those effing hard-on dudes that's always putting on a tough guy show, and once he exhausts himself with that daily routine, he goes home and cries himself to sleep. I don't know. But a dude in New Jersey was arrested for ripping a seagull's head smooth off.
Oh, my God.
When the bird tried to snatch French fries away from his daughter at the beach.
You psychopath.
I mean, I do love fries, but that does seem a little extreme.
Placenta fries? Nick had those last night.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
2 days.
Oh, 2 days ago. I'm sorry.
He and his daughter are hanging out at the beach somewhere in miserable New Jersey. And that's what he did. Oh, and after he manually decapitated the bird for being a bird.
Right in front of his daughter.
Right in front of a child. He fought with the cops when they tried to arrest him. How do you say it?
Arrest?
For animal cruelty. He fought, you sons, and you won't take me. He fought his way to jail.
That was kind of cute when you said, well, West.
I thought it was adorable,
That's how I
too.
talked as a kid until like 6th grade.
This little 11-year-old.
Thank God you figured out how to talk now, Dana.
Yeah.
Still, I'm baby steps, Josh. Baby steps.
You nailed it.
What are baby steps?
Yeah, you're what, 38?
39.
39, you'll get there.
Yeah, maybe after I turn 40, I can learn how to speak.
This prick is named Franklin Ziegler. He's 29 years old. Again, a seagull swoops down, like they do, went after his daughter's Frenched fries, and in a fit of rage, he ripped the bird's head off of its body.
I can't even imagine.
No.
Like you said, it's probably one of those dudes that wants to be that guy and immediately realized he was that guy. I mean, you said maybe not to that extent, but you had a buddy who had a similar experience.
Well, yeah, I was. Well, that was me personally. I saw that. Yes.
I thought that was a buddy of yours that did
Well,
that.
maybe we're thinking of different
the
stories.
dude that cried.
Yes. I'll wrap up this guy real quick. Again, the cop showed up. He wet his pants. He put up a fight. He's looking at disorderly conduct, resisting arrest on top of his animal cruelty charge. So they're going to get him, Ashley.
Good. Take his kid away, too.
They're going to get him. Yeah. I'm fine with that. No word on how his daughter reacted to her dad acting like a rageful delinquent.
Yeah, poor kid.
Yeah, I wonder if she's like, well, there he goes again.
Yeah,
It's
maybe she's
kinda
just, kind of numb to everything he does.
Another bird
Or
head
maybe
for my
the-
collection.
Right.
PD.
The story that Josh is referencing, we were, 8th or 9th grade kids, and the main bully at my school, this guy, he was just the cliche, I'm a big guy, beat everybody up, that typical douchebag. It was so obvious that he was compensating for deep problems. But that was his role, and he just thrived in it. He had to start trouble in every possible situation. We're at the beach, me and some pals, and some chicks. And here comes Dinkus. And we all just immediately said, here we go. You know he's going to have to do something to bother us, to be the center of attention because he's that cliche bully. To impress the chicks, maybe. So as we're sitting at the beach, there's a flock, if that's the proper term, of cute little ducks. And they're swimming around, right? We're having a good time. We're throwing them snacks, cute little ducks. Well, what does Ballbag decide to do? He's throwing rocks at the ducks to try to get it. Okay, big surprise. You've got to do something stupid. And it was, silly. And then he smokes one of the ducks in the neck with his rock, and it breaks the duck's neck, and its head falls into the water, and the duck slowly drowns. It's trying to swim its way out of it, but its neck is broken, and it can't pick its head. So a grown person who was watching this walked into the water, picked the duck up out of the water, wrang its neck to put it out of its misery, which was the right thing to do, right?
Yeah.
The right thing to do. He wrang the duck's neck to put it out of its misery, and the grown guy looks to the bully guy and says, what the hell's the matter with you? And the grown guy walks away. Well, the bully guy now is frozen. He loves playing his little role, but he finally saw the end results of his terrible behavior. But, he must have been torn in that moment because he's still trying to keep up his tough guy image. He laughed at first, but you could tell this is really bothering him, what he did. And now here's the supposedly toughest bully in our school begins to cry and runs away like a 5-year-old.
Good.
And that made I felt bad for the duck, but man, that felt good to watch him crack.
Did he change his ways?
Absolutely not. He only got worse.
That's too bad.
He got worse. And that moment may have sprung him even into worse behavior.
That's too bad.
Prick bastard.
Sports. on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Jordan already blasting his way around the bend. Pearson putting up a good challenge on the outside, but there's no doubt about it. What a display of sprinting from the young Briton. This is absolutely phenomenal. And he's just easing up. What's happened here?
That was an absolute disaster, Phil Minchell. He has eased up far, far, far too early. This is going to be a lesson learned the very, very hard way.
Is that video up on our website?
Yes.
This was some kind of under 18 Junior Olympics or something, and they're running the 400, 300, 200, maybe 100, maybe 50 meter. I don't know.
200 meter.
Some kind of foot race, right? You got to see the video. I don't know what the hell this kid was thinking. He's winning this foot race by a massive distance.
He's dominating.
And then he pulls the chute. He pulls the chute. He
like halfway through, it seems.
I don't get it.
I don't. And then, okay, so maybe some of you who follow track and field are like, well, you know, sometimes if you've already qualified, it doesn't really matter. That wasn't the case. This kid needed to win that race, and he had it won, and he just stopped.
And it didn't look like he was struggling in any way. It didn't even really look like he was celebrating. I don't know what happened.
He really thought he could just walk the rest of the way and still win the race. Instead, he finished fourth, and it was a total disaster. And you hear it from the announcer. He doesn't understand what he's looking at.
The longer clip, the announcers are like, wow, what a specimen. Look at him go. He's so great. And then they're just totally confused.
Yeah, and you can tell this kid, if he goes for it, my God, he probably would have set a world record. Anyway, check that video out. Twins last night, pitchers duel. I really enjoyed myself, but it had a terrible ending. Twins lose 3-0 to the Philadelphia Phillies. Real quick, I wanted to share this with you. I was telling my story earlier. When I was a kid, I was trying to show off to my friends, and I jumped on a slow-moving freight train as it was going through my hometown to show off. And then suddenly it kicked into high gear, and I had that moment where it was jump off and suck up the pain of landing down on the... It was jump off or travel with the train to wherever its friggin' destination might be.
You got a new home.
I jumped off, thankfully. Listen to this. Farmington Jesus texted in. He said, I jumped on a train, except I didn't jump off when that time came. I held on. I jumped on in Faribault, ended up in the middle of Iowa, had to call my girlfriend to come pick me up from a payphone.
Oh, my God.
What the hell?
What a story.
That would have been me. That would have been me way back in the... we got to take a break. Josh's News is coming up next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.
It's kickoff time, and Believe podcasts are here to get you ready for the season.
This team, they looked to figure it out, and they said, okay, we got a shot at this thing.
With Believe, you get immediate reactions, game previews, and expert analysis from all 32 teams, plus all of your favorite college teams.
This is a true junior that we're talking about.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
The running was good. His size is unbelievable.
Just search Believe. That's BLEAV podcast, wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
We have certain areas of town where every home's been taken out, every structure's been taken out, and we're getting a lot of phone calls, people wanting to get back, but now's not the time to come back.
A federal search for a pair of Vans sneakers revealed the man and his girlfriend's involvement in at least 6 New Mexico wildfires that took out thousands, if not tens of thousands of acres.
Running around with your cool Vans on, setting wildfires.
That's right.
That's not what they're made for. They're made for skateboarding and
walking iguanas around Lake Harriet.
Yeah, pot smoking and things like that. You're supposed to just stay high and stay on a skateboard when you're wearing Vans.
An FBI special agent detailed an investigation into 16 suspicious fires that investigators determined to be human-caused. After speaking with witnesses and searching the areas of each fire, they found 2 things that led them to the suspects: a Jeep and a pair of Vans.
Foiled by the vans.
Witnesses reported seeing two people drive away from one of the fires in a Jeep Grand Cherokee, which was later seen fleeing other fires. Investigators also found the impression of a woman's Vans branded shoe in the dirt near two of those blazes.
Yeah, they're doing it wrong.
Yep. You know, this could happen to me because I have like one pair of outdoor shoes. My wife would never get caught. New pair of shoes every day.
Yeah, do I have to change the shoes that I wear every day now?
If you commit crimes. Once caught, the man claimed to be a local firefighter who he actually attempted to put out those fires, he claimed. He also said this, though.
The suspect stated he did not start the fire before officers even questioned him.
Yeah, don't do that, especially if you're lying. Wait for them to ask you a question or tell you while they're there. According to the National Park Service, nearly 85% of fires in the U.S. are caused by human activities, such as unattended campfires, debris burning, equipment malfunctions, and arson.
Josh, all your past girlfriends, did the two of you ever consider being that neighborhood wildfire couple?
Never once.
Okay.
No. But I used
Me
to
neither.
burn up the sheets back in the day.
You burned down the bed frame?
No, never once.
Oh.
Not even close. I'm not a very good lover. A Nebraska teen is accused of tampering with a train track and filming the resulting derailment. 2 locomotives and 5 fully loaded rail cars came off the rails at 6:10 p.m. April 21st. That crash caused a total of $350,000 in damages.
Yeah, so who's going to pay for that now?
Well, good question. Maybe his
Right.
folks. A 17-year-old boy and train enthusiast was at the scene filming the derailment. He shared the video with police and the media at the time, saying, "Can you believe what I caught on video?"
Oh.
But a search warrant filed last week showed that investigators now think the boy had tampered with the rail prior to the derailment in order to film it.
Okay, imagine that's your son.
Oh, I can't. I don't want to. That's awful. An investigator spotted a switch had been misaligned. A padlock was supposed to be attached to that switch, but the investigator discovered it was missing. Then the investigator was approached by a 17-year-old boy while at the scene. The boy, who reported the derailment, asked the investigator what had happened. When the investigator said the cause was undetermined, the boy said, "Well, obviously a switch must have been flipped the wrong way."
Points out exactly what he just did.
I mean, I wouldn't know. You're the investigator.
Just guessing.
He also told the investigator he was a train enthusiast and showed her video he had taken of the derailment. The boy denied trespassing in the area and tampering with the switch, but the investigator wrote he knew where the switch was and exactly how it worked.
Dude, this kid's dorkiness got the best of him.
Yeah. He wanted to see this thing derail. He wanted to be the guy to report it and show the video.
And he
wanted to be arrogant enough to say, "Well, I know how this happened."
Right.
I'm an enthusiast.
He's got some bad wiring there. But again, imagine that's your son.
I hate having to think of stuff like that.
Yeah, if it's me, I never talk to the kid again.
A dispute over a missing chicken strip resulted in a St. Louis woman striking a Jack in the Box employee with her vehicle. The incident happened last Tuesday when 41-year-old Taylania Carter went to the eatery and complained to the manager about an order she made over the weekend. Carter told the manager her order was missing a single chicken strip. So the manager replaced that missing chicken strip. So yes, she waited several days and went back to the restaurant.
No, just let it boil up, huh?
Police said despite that, Carter was irritated with the lack of ranch provided, even when they gave her the free strip. And then she spit in the store manager's face for not giving her enough ranch.
Oh, that sucks.
You can't make this one happy.
How much ranch do you need for the single strip?
Yeah.
As Carter left the Jack in the Box and went to her vehicle, the manager went outside to capture her license plate number. Carter noticed this and ran up to the manager, physically assaulted her, and said, "You're trying to get charges put on me?" Police said Carter went back to her vehicle, put it in reverse, and backed into the manager, knocking her to the ground.
Oh, man.
Carter left the scene but was arrested the following day.
Yeah, she's a wild one.
A bride, a couple that is, set to be married this weekend, got into an argument over signing a prenup agreement, which turned violent and resulted in the would-be bride's arrest. 26-year-old Molly Hogan and the male victim were engaged in a prenuptials quarrel late Sunday night at their home. The victim told cops Hogan grabbed him around the head and struck him in the chest, torso, back, and legs, causing multiple physical injuries. The attack, the man said, was prompted by a heated argument over signing a prenup. One witness, the victim's brother, was bitten on the arms by Hogan as he sought to stop her from battering his sibling. Alcohol appears to have played a role in the 11:30 p.m. confrontation.
That $20 says he still marries her.
Well, that's the question. An arrest affidavit doesn't offer additional details about whether the wedding, which is set for Saturday, was still on. That being said, there's one pretty big hurdle to the wedding plans, an active restraining order.
Oh, no.
Yep, that complicates things.
The bride-to-be was ordered to have no contact with her prospective future husband or future brother-in-law.
Soon as that restraining order expires, they're going to get how do you say it? They're going to get married, and I'm also going to predict multiple children from these two.
I bet you're right.
Too bad it's not like they have a distance restraining order, so they could do like a Zoom wedding or something.
Well, I'm sure they could.
No contact.
Oh, true. Waffle.
You're right, that would be contact.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't considering the virtual contact. An 83-year-old man went to his sickly 84-year-old neighbor's home and showed her who's really sick by masturbating in front of her.
Hell yeah.
Twice. What?
I mean, what? Who said that?
Police said Nelson Correa took advantage of the victim's illness last Tuesday and Wednesday and faces 2 counts of lewd and lascivious exhibition in front of an elderly or disabled adult.
God dang.
As of Friday afternoon, he was being held without bond. Again, 2 days in a row. Horrible. An upstate New York creep busted for performing a lewd act at a nature reserve refused to keep his hands to himself, even after a pair of teen hikers smacked him with a fishing pole. Riviera Rosario was exposing himself about 4:15 p.m. Sunday when a pair of teen girls stumbled upon the troubling scene. Rosario was openly masturbating. Despite their attempts to stop him, including hitting him with a fishing pole, he continued his actions, police said. Officers showed up and took the masturbating man into custody.
That's troubling.
Last week, another man was busted for performing a similar act while watching porn in the electronics department of a New York Walmart store. The 45-year-old was charged with masturbating while watching explicit videos in front of other customers while sitting in an electric scooter. Sitting in a scooter, he wasn't hard to find, so thankfully that nut was busted. A person urinated on a church statue in Illinois and then twice rammed his vehicle into a witness trying to take his photo. A bicyclist saw the 43-year-old urinating on a statue. This happened about 12:30 p.m. that day. It's at a Catholic church. The bicyclist, a 53-year-old man, circled around to take photos of the culprit who was inside a car. He became confrontational and told the bicyclist, "Don't take my picture. I'm a police officer."
Oh.
He's not a police officer.
No, I bet he wasn't.
The witness, then he pulled away, reversed the car at high speed, and struck the witness, knocking him to the ground. He slammed into the bicyclist again, dragging the bike underneath the car this time, police said. Realizing he was trying to kill him, the 53-year-old witness ran for the church steps in an attempt to get to higher ground. At one point, the man drove up on a driveway, ran into a neighbor's bushes, and then left. Officers gathered video in the area and arrested him 5 days later.
That's no way a police officer should be behaving.
No, it turns out, again, he's not a police officer. Surprise, surprise. A motorcycle, I should mention there's going to be some audio here with some sirens in the background.
I always enjoy that.
Yeah, I like it too. It's fun to add a little gnat sound in the background.
What's the industry term?
Gnat sound?
Gnat sound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Natural.
A motorcyclist running from an...
Thank you, Wapple.
Maybe it was for the people in the listening audience who were like, nah.
That's not the tone that you took with me.
I needed help.
No, I don't think you need
That's not the tone that he used.
A motorcyclist running from an Arkansas state trooper pushed past 150 miles per hour before finally wrecking at 135 miles per hour. In dash cam footage you can see on 93x.com, when the trooper catches up and turns on his lights and sirens, the rider twists the throttle and pulls ahead. He's probably thinking he's going to smoke that trooper with no problem, but the trooper wasn't going to let that happen. As the suspect exits the highway, the trooper stays right on him, closing the gap. But the motorcyclist gets back on, going the opposite direction, once again pulling ahead. Still, he can't quite shake his pursuer. Trying a different tactic, the rider makes a late exit from the highway, cutting over some grass, but the trooper isn't fooled one bit. As they both exit, the trooper tries forcing the rider off the road several times as they keep doing U-turns in a crazy dance. Then the suspect's able to outmaneuver the trooper and takes off down the road, twisting the throttle and working through the gears quickly. But in his haste, he seems to not have seen the car in front of him and slammed right into the back at 135 miles per hour.
Dude. What's left of him?
He survived.
Yeah.
As you can hear the cops say in this clip.
He's not just an alert. He's just got some pretty severe road rash. You go ahead and clear the net for now.
10-4, we've got rescue headed that way.
Again, road rash. That's
Road
all
rash?
he suffered.
That's it, huh?
And he was just in a T-shirt and jeans. He did have a helmet on.
Ouch.
Police say his bike was totaled, and he's in some pretty serious trouble. That you posted that, did you not, Ashley?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you can see that on 93.
Nice work, bro.
Yeah, way to go. Boy, did he look like a dumbass sitting there. Yeah, he sure did. Today on Apple TV Plus, Friends star Lisa Kudrow leads the cast of the new series Time Bandits, about an 11-year-old history nerd who joins a group of time-traveling thieves who set out on a thrilling quest to save the boy's parents and the world. Jimmy Fallon has Matt Damon and Josh Hartnett as his guests tonight. And the guests hosting this evening, Jimmy Kimmel's show, Deadpool and Wolverine, mortal frenemies, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Former WWE wrestler Torrie Wilson, 49.
Oh, God help us all.
Jeez.
Utah Jazz scoring legend Karl Malone, 61.
I always liked Carl.
Me too. Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman, is 73.
Wonder Body.
Got to send some positive vibes to our friend. Snow blowing off my car on the road. She just drove to work last night, turned around, drove home, said she just couldn't even. Everybody's had that day where they couldn't even, and last night was hers.
I'll be damned.
Hopefully today's a little better. And that's 93X News.
Just couldn't even.
Randy Shaver.
There's always something new with him. He's an embarrassment to himself. This guy's, he comes around this community. He thinks he runs in here.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I said, though, they're letting him drink beer. Should have made him be sober.
This is a city well known for famous clowns, right? Like Bozo Circus was enormous.
Yeah, that poor bastard right there. Audio from a Chicago Cubs game over the weekend. Some dude was sitting in the bleachers. What was the costume he had to wear?
It was a clown outfit.
He had to dress as a clown, and he had a sign around his neck that said, "I suck at fantasy football." The A.J. Pierzynski, and the lead announcer, I don't know his name.
Jason Benetti, is that?
It doesn't matter, does it?
I don't know.
But they...
Maybe to him it does.
They noted...
Family.
They noted that...
Friends, colleagues.
The guy was drinking beer in the bleachers, and I think it was Pierzynski who said if they really wanted to punish this guy, they would have ordered him to be sober.
No, it's a good point.
That's a very good point.
I mean, it sucks, of course, to be dressed as a clown in 90-degree weather and you're holding a sign that says, "I suck at fantasy football." But to make someone do that bone dry, that's a real punishment. This guy just put a few old styles down, and who gives a rat's ass what he's wearing? Anyway, it's wonderful to see and hear from all of our best pals again on this glorious Wednesday. Joining us at this time, sitting to my right, Janelle Kleinworthy. Hi, Janelle.
Hello.
Morning.
I heard Brad Ryder inhale. I just hope there's an exhale in there somewhere.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, someone's got to check on him.
There.
And the ass man, Randy Shaver.
Yeah.
Josh, they're all here.
Not everybody thinks a clown is funny. So when you show up at a ball game like that, I'm sure there's some people that have a phobia of clowns.
Well, we work with
that probably didn't think that was very funny.
I would not be happy if I got
Yep.
to my seat at the game and it was next to a clown.
Nothing wrong sitting next to a drunk clown at a ball game.
You are that drunk clown, Dana.
I feel like, dude, it's either
You got a
you
Bills
or me.
outfit on.
You'd really be nervous about that situation, Ashley?
Yeah, that does not sound. And like, my favorite place to be is at a ball game, so that would be awful. That would ruin my night.
I mean, come on. The guy buys you a beer. You have a quick conversation with the guy. You realize he's a normal person. You can't get beyond it?
Maybe if he like undresses a little bit.
Out of all the
You want a
fantasy
naked
football
drunk clown.
I want to be able to humanize him as much as possible.
Out of all the fantasy football punishments we've heard about on this program, I think that's the most tame.
Yeah, you know what?
yeah.
You're right. I guess I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody dressed up goofy at a ball game anymore. Because they want to get on TV or something.
Yeah, nobody's gonna know who you are. You don't have to spend 24 hours in a McDonald's. You don't have to. I mean,
No, it's not anywhere close the most brutal fantasy
you
football
don't have to fly
punishment.
to Fargo or whatever that guy did.
I like that Pierzynski wasn't impressed at all.
Right.
He always seems a little pissed off.
He is. He's kind of a squirrely individual. Yeah, I mean, not the most original idea in the world, but that's what they were dealing with out there at Wrigley Field. Okay, Janelle, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
And I had to ask you something I thought of after we were talking to Dick Bramer yesterday. So Dick Bramer made a trip out to Cooperstown, and then that friggin' computer disaster happened that I still don't understand even a little bit what happened. And last we talked to Dick Bramer yesterday, he was stranded in Hartford, Connecticut because of this catastrophe. Did you just miss that when you came home last week?
I just missed it. And so I got back Thursday or Friday, I can't remember. And I had a friend who was supposed to fly home Saturday, and they were stuck in Atlanta for, 3 days. And I just talked to a friend yesterday who just got home, had been trying for 4 days. People are like sleeping in the airport. Have you guys seen the videos?
It's brutal.
They're still canceling flights
Yeah.
these days later.
I know.
So my question is, where would you have been stuck if you would have been swallowed up by this computer disaster?
I was in Pittsburgh. So
Okay.
I probably would have, because it was a direct flight, so I probably just would have been stuck there.
Can you think of worse places where that have been okay with you to be stuck in Pittsburgh?
You know what? Pittsburgh is really cool.
It is.
Never
It
been.
is.
Never been, and I can't believe what a great city it is. So yeah, I would have been great with that.
Way better than Hartford.
Oh God, and I was stuck in Hartford once for a whole week, and it was not fun.
Was that when
I was in Hartford with Gopher Hockey years ago too. It's brutal.
Yeah.
What makes it brutal? Out of curiosity.
It's just there's nothing to do.
There's nothing there.
So it's like
You could have caught a taping of Maury. What are you talking about? There's lots to do in Hartford.
a taping of what?
Maury
what?
Povich show. That's where he
The
taped.
Maury Povich show was live from Hartford?
Mm-hmm. So
They're still doing that show?
No, I don't think so anymore.
Okay.
I thought he did.
Why did he choose there?
He died, didn't he?
Thanks.
In Hartford.
I don't think so.
Because he taped the show in Hartford.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's in his 80s, I think.
Was Maury Povich killed in Hartford?
Looks like he's still alive, 85 years old.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, Dick.
And not to pile on, but I think, the issue has been with Delta. Every other airline is kind of back to normal. And there's something going on with them. I don't know what it is.
Delta said it was like something to do with like the fact that they use the system that went down. They use that for other things as well within their company. So like a bunch of stuff went wrong for them, but not the other airlines.
Well, whatever. I don't know.
Poor Delta.
I don't understand a word of it. But Dick Bramer, he's, overall, Dick's a pretty happy guy. But I think he was a little irked to be.
He was a little irked.
Yeah, you could tell there was an edge there.
Is he in Cooperstown right now?
No, he's in Hartford.
Oh, he's in Hartford.
He made it to Hartford.
Oh, okay.
He's stuck in Hartford.
Oh, God.
And from what I'm seeing, a lot of these places too, they don't have rental cars available, so it's not like people can jump in a rental car and drive home either.
Oh, man.
Janelle, when you were stuck in Hartford, was that back when you were dating Ron Francis?
It was.
Yeah.
How did you know?
I've heard. I hear things. I know who dates.
Ron's got a big mouth on him.
Wait a second. Then you were happy to be in Hartford.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
Dating Ronnie Francis.
As long as you're with him.
Ronnie Francis. Put the biscuit in the basket.
Let me tell you something. Here in the building, we got separate studios. We got Wapple and Dana and Ashley over in some other garbage studio, and then Josh and I are in another garbage studio. Janelle sits with Josh and I, and it's always a joy, especially this morning. You two are so easy to please, Josh and Janelle. While we were off air,
we bonded like crazy.
While we were off air, I gleeked. Does everyone know what it means to gleek?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was an accident. I'm sitting here in front of my computer, and beep, some spit comes out of my mouth. I gleeked. And I informed Josh and Janelle. I said, "I'm sorry if you saw that, but I just gleeked." And they both said, "Oh, awesome."
Yeah, I had said I've always wanted to know how to do that. And Janelle was essentially said, "Oh, my God, me too." Yes. She's always wanted to be able to do it on command. Yeah. Can anybody here do that on command?
No, but I knew a buddy that knew how to do it. And he said something about, like, turn your tongue to the side and, like, bite down on it a little bit or something.
He was just wanting to get turned on. He likes to watch you do that.
At any rate, it was
sixth grade, you were a hero if you could do that.
Yeah.
I accidentally spit all over myself and my laptop computer, and Janelle and Josh were impressed by this. And they went back and forth on how they wished they could do it on command.
And then, per a natural conversation, it went on to urine accidents, but that was a little bit different. But it did migrate to that.
If I was to be part of a throuple, I'd want it to be me, Cubby, and Janelle. and my wife, my friggin' wife on the side.
I like that you involve her, because sometimes you forget you're married.
I want to keep my wife on the side, just like Pinky said in Next Friday. I love that scene where Pinky, he owns Pinky's record shop, and Day works there, and Roach. And then Craig comes in, and Pinky and Craig have a confrontation where Craig ends up putting a gun on Pinky. He has to point a gun at Pinky. That's how bad the confrontation got. And Pinky said, "Don't shoot me, young blood." What's the line again? "I got a girlfriend. I got a wife on the side." Whenever I quote next Friday, it never goes anywhere.
I'm sorry.
I never saw past regular Friday.
Yeah, me neither.
You should try it. Pinky's very funny.
What about Friday after next? Is that any good?
Say one more word. One more word. That's my imitation of Pinky. If you've seen Next Friday, you know the bit. What was your question, Josh?
Friday after next. Did you see that one? Wasn't that the
A little
third?
bit. Never got all the way through it.
The first one was so good.
But if you want to try Next Friday, but you don't want to commit yourself to the whole movie, just go on YouTube and look up the confrontation between Craig and Pinky, and I think I'll sell you on it.
Hot and spicy, crunchy, nutty, tasty, chewy Jesus said his buddy can gleek about 4 friggin' feet.
Dude.
We were talking about that
Impressive.
off air. The guys that could just do that super, just crazy long. That's awesome.
All right, this here is for Janelle. We're going to start things off here as a way of thanking her for coming in studio and the laughs that we had about the gleeking. Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, your little boy toy.
I'm so sorry, Janelle.
He has now shaved his hairdo down and dyed it platinum blonde. And people are saying that his new look reminds them of Eminem or Cody Rhodes or Crash Holly or Hardcore Holly. Have you seen the pictures of your favorite little quarterback with his new blonde hairdo?
No, should I Google it?
Yeah, it's up on our website.
Yeah,
if you want to check it
you
out.
should, but be prepared.
Yeah,
So
it's awful. It absolutely ruined everything he had going for him.
Wow. Everything.
Awful.
He's a very talented professional athlete.
I'm a very heterosexual guy, but I got to agree with that.
Yep.
No
swag.
I liked it when he shaved his head. I thought that was a good
So
look.
he's taken away all of his swag.
Yep, his
with,
swagger's
with one
gone.
hairdo. Wapple, does he look more like Eminem or Cody Rhodes or Crash Holly or Hardcore Holly?
Oh, dude, I have to go Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, see, I'd say Cody Rhodes and then Eminem slightly.
Yeah, if he had a neck tattoo, it would make it even better. He'd definitely be Cody Rhodes.
I think he looks more like Crash Holly, God rest his soul.
Crash Holly.
God rest the soul of Crash Holly, one of the most entertaining television wrestlers I've ever seen.
You see him, Janelle?
I see him.
What do you? Oh, it doesn't sound
I
like
know,
I
dude.
can hear the disappointment in her voice.
You guys, okay, we talked about this last time his name came up. And here's the thing. It's never been about how he looks for me, obviously. It's just he had this, cooler than cool vibe.
Joe Cool, they
now
call him.
he's trying too hard.
He's got swag.
Okay, that makes sense.
There we go.
That makes perfect
He's
sense,
a try
Janelle.
hard, as the kids say.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Right?
never heard that. A try-hard.
Yep,
Yep.
you never want to be a tryhard.
Yep.
It started with that backless suit. Remember that?
Stupid backless suit.
That was
bad.
That was one of the
Totally
dumber things I've seen in a while.
So unnecessary.
You make 100% sense. Okay, so now and I've never heard that before either. He's a try-hard.
Yeah.
I have never heard Janelle so dialed into one thing in her life.
She's up on celebrity stuff. She knows
No,
a
I'm
lot.
talking about Joe Burrows in particular. She is just like dialed in.
Who else would you classify as a try-hard, Janelle?
Oh, God, but we're surrounded by try-hards these days.
Gosh.
You probably passed a few on your way in the building, I would think.
Oh, geez, radio's loaded with try-hards.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'll be obsessed with this term now for a while.
I got Brad. That's a great question. I'm gonna give that some thought.
As long as you don't say me, I'm fine.
Oh God, no.
No, you should try harder, actually.
Yeah, you need to try a lot harder, Brad.
Brad, we all know you don't try at all. So
I can't believe you've never heard that term, Nick.
yeah.
I haven't either, and I've got young people in my life.
Wow.
I've heard all the other ones, the Sigma, the Skibbity, and stuff like that, but
It's kind of like it had its prime like 2 years ago.
Well, my prime was about 32 years ago.
And that's even questionable.
Maybe more like 35. Sure, obviously, I'm well aware of, it's easy to recognize someone who's trying too hard. I've just never heard them referred to as a try hard. So with this new hairdo, he's kind of lost his luster. Some of the cool has disappeared from Joe Burrow's image. I'm sorry to hear that, Janelle.
Yeah.
Well, there's always Jimmy Garoppolo or Sam Darnold or
no, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy's taken.
He's Dalton. What's his name? The pink crayon. Andy Dalton.
The Red Rocket.
Dalton.
Who are the other good-looking quarterbacks?
Oh, the guy that looks like he's always got eyeliner on. Why can't I think of his name?
Derek Carr.
Yeah, Derek Carr.
Looks like he has eyeliner on.
Josh is not wrong.
No,
Yeah, look him up. It always looks like he's got some eyeliner on.
Trevor Lawrence? I don't know.
No.
Got that California boy.
He's got that schnoz.
No.
All right, so that's it. Now, from now on, for this entire football season, we're going to refer to Joe Burrow as Crash Holly.
I like that.
I was at a live event once where Crash Holly looked down the front of his trunks to confirm that he still had a penis. and he kind of looked down his trunks and he kind of like he locked eyes with his penis and he kind of winked at it and then he went on with his match. And I thought that sometimes it's just the little things, the subtle things that television wrestlers do.
God, I love wrestling.
That's what I love about wrestling.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite parts.
He checked his trunks. Oh yeah, you're still there. And then he went on with his match.
The wrestling is secondary to all that stuff.
Crash was a 22-time WWF Hardcore Champion.
The poor guy died so young. Okay, we don't need to get into Crash Holly. I'll get all sad.
Well, let's stick with wrestler penises. And I know it wasn't a professional wrestling event, but the one where the guy's penis would hypnotize people or shock people when one person would touch it and then another guy would touch the next guy.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about him.
Oh, really? Is there some news on
Yeah, there's bad things.
Oh, no.
Bad things. He had a great
But he had a great gimmick.
That bit was so good.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the bit?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. But we won't say his name.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to tell you his name. So. But I love that
He
video.
had the power of the penis. Correct, Wapple? That was the exact phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
He had the power of the penis where if his opponent touched his penis, and sometimes it was accidental and sometimes he would lure his opponent into touch, and then he could hip toss his opponent with his penis.
Yeah, because his penis was so good that they could not let go of it.
Right.
Well, the best was when they'd get, like, one guy would try and help the guy that's trapped, but then he gets stuck on that guy because the penis was that powerful.
If Josh was touching the powerful penis and then I tried to help Josh, then I would also be under its powers and he could toss us both over the top rope with his, but that's as much discussion as we should
So,
have.
Janelle, are you sad you started this conversation?
I mean, I mentioned it once, like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's just been a thing.
You mentioned what? 3 or 4?
Well, the Joe Burrow thing, I think, started, at the national championship game, and I came back and I told a story about how after the game, I saw him just like looking so cool, smoking a cigar.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, I've never found a 22-year-old so hot in my life.
Uh-huh.
When I was 22, I was like, he's so cool.
Mhm.
And now it's just become this thing. I don't know.
It's disappointing, isn't it?
It is. He's only gone downhill from there. Yep.
But if you start to move on to Jimmy Garoppolo, you're effing dead to me.
I know.
He's mine.
He's yours.
I've
He's
claimed
all
him for
yours.
years. He's the best-looking man on the face of the planet.
He really is good
Friggin'
looking.
tryhards, man. I've had enough of them.
Me too. I'm always saying that. Tryhards.
Well, this is a text message. Wow, great setup, huh? This is a text message. What's it going to take to get the 93X crew out to a local wrestling event? I love the local scene, dude. Maybe you're new to the show, but I don't go anymore because I'm just too old. I can't stay out that late anymore, and there's too many friggin' people. But I was one of the few years ago who went to all the local shows. I don't know, dude. Holler at us when you have a show. We got a lot of wrestling fans on this program. But for me personally, it's just I just get so tired.
Dana and Wobble go to a lot of them.
Yeah. For me, a lot of them have started to happen on Sundays now. So Sundays are tough to go to anything.
Let us know. Text us when you know of a show, and we'll try to make it. We're big fans here. I used to go to all of. I saw so many wrestlers who are now big-time sumbitches when they were just starting off here in town, 25, 30 years ago. So
AJ Styles was one of them you saw.
Well, Christ, yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was the same day that I met Crash Holly and Jeff Jarrett.
Full circle. Wow.
All three of them. I was standing in a room at one point, working out a gimmick with Crash Holly, Jeff Jarrett, and friggin' AJ Styles before he was anybody.
That's insane.
That's something a lot of wrestling fans would dream about.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right. Thank you for your text. We are interested in local wrestling. Hell yeah. Pitchers duel cut loose at Target Field last night, and it was fun. You had the Phillies ace Zach Wheeler and the Twins rookie Simeon Woods Richardson. They both pitched wonderfully. Back and forth they went, zeros across the board. But for Cripe's sake, in the ninth, after Richardson had hit the showers, the Phillies jumped on our closer, Duran, and Philadelphia ended up with a 3-0 win. 3-0. It was a suckbag ending to that ball game, Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, Janelle Klein.
Yeah, very disappointing because Simeon Richardson pitched pretty well. I mean, you know, the Twins have to be really happy about how this has kind of played itself out because once Paddock went down and they had some other injuries in that rotation, this kid has stepped up and, you know, he's had some really good moments. He's had some tough ones too, but I think he's here to stay. I think he's here to be in this rotation for a long time. He's proving himself every time he goes out. And give him credit to shut down the Phillies lineup, which, you know, this team is 27 games over 500. So anytime you can put zeros on the board against the Philadelphia Phillies, you're doing something right. So, even though the Twins lost the game last night, I think they have to be pretty happy with what they're seeing from Simeon Woods Richardson. He's been actually the real bright spot in that pitching rotation, I think, since he's been called up. He's done a nice job.
Might be a little bit of concern about the bullpen the last 3 or 4 games, the way that they've come in.
Yeah, but
I'm concerned about Duran. I am. I'm concerned about Duran. He has not been effective this year.
Yeah,
but things up the lead the other day. So
yeah, but things ebb and flow.
Right.
In a bullpen. You know, there's going to be times where your bullpen is just nothing but crap. They're just, you know, those things happen. I would say more times than not, this bullpen's been pretty good. And, you know, you got to give the Phillies credit. They've got a lineup that's pretty darn tough. And I'm not saying that Duran has not been good. He has not been. He's been average quite a bit this season. But I would not lump the entire Twins bullpen into it's been a bad year. I think they've been decent at times for sure. Can they get better? That's what the trading deadline's for.
Yeah.
I think
I was leading that conversation.
Yeah.
They need to do something before the end of July.
I think the Twins are in line. Now, I did see something yesterday about money and how much money they have allocated for any sort of a trade, which makes me sad as a Twins fan that we're going to be worried about money when this team has a chance to do something in the playoffs. But I think they have to be sellers in the pitching department. Or buyers, rather. I'm sorry. In the pitching department. They've got to find, I think, another starter. And I think they have to find another bullpen guy. Their everyday lineup, honestly, when Lewis comes back, I think they're going to be fine.
And Correa and Moreno.
Yeah, and Correa. I think they're going to be fine. I don't think they need to necessarily shake that up. To me, that's not a priority.
No.
And I would agree with all of that. I would rather. I mean, we're splitting hairs a little bit. I would rather get 2 bullpen guys than a bullpen guy and a starter, just because of the way the game's played today. It feels like unless you're Pablo Lopez, like you're going to get yanked the 3rd time through the lineup in the playoffs. And so the more you can bolster your bullpen for innings 6, 7, 8, 9, and beyond, I think that's where they really need help.
And here's the other thing too.
For Christ's sake.
And the other thing too is really when you get to the playoffs, you only really need 3 strong starters.
Yes.
Right?
Richardson was great last night.
Yeah, that curveball was nasty.
I agree with everything you're saying about getting a starting pitcher. We'll see. They got a handful of days before that deadline shows up. Word is Carlos Correa sent the Twins a list of names of starting pitchers he thinks the Twins should trade for. And Brad Ryder, you just made the list.
Nice.
I knew it.
You're on it. You're on the list.
He doesn't think I'm a try hard. He thinks I'm ready.
It says also here, first off, back to last night's game. The Twins had their chance in the 8th. They had the bases loaded.
Yep.
But Jeffers hit into a force play. I'd like to know the Twins' batting average with the bases loaded. It must be absolute garbage. They're just not quite getting it right now. The final today is a day game. Twins are going to do a bullpen type of a setup.
Yep.
They're going to do, what do they call it in the business
Yeah,
now?
that's it. That's right. It's a bullpen game.
Yeah, but there's a term for it.
Bullpen game. Yeah. I mean, Stephen Okert's going to start.
Opener.
Opener, yes.
Steve
Okert will be the opener. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. And they'll probably run through about 4 or 5 guys today, I would think, against Aaron Nola, who is, fabulous starting pitcher. So,
Janelle, a couple of our listeners, namely The Rod. The Rod texted in. He calls people who try too hard Johnny Tryhards. Do you like that, or do you want to stick with just calling him a tryhard?
I've never liked that or heard that, but I do like it.
Do you know The Rod?
No.
Okay. I don't know him either, but he says we call him Johnny.
That was the right answer, Janelle.
Question for Janelle.
Which one?
That was the appropriate response.
You could take that so many ways.
Yes, exactly.
The Rod. All right.
Have you met The Rod?
Snoop Dogg will be carrying the torch at one point or another at the opening ceremonies of this year's Summer Olympics. My God, they're like speaking of wrestling, they're like the WWE now. Get somebody the kids like in here so we can get some ratings.
He gets to do everything.
He does.
He is everywhere. All over the place.
As you probably know, Snoop Dogg is also going to be contributing to the coverage of the games. He'll be commenting on whatever happens at the Summer Olympics. But he'll also be carrying the torch at one point. Who's he going to hand it to? Simon Cowell? Come on.
Is he going to be running with a blunt, too?
Yeah.
He tries to smoke the torch.
Kim Kardashian, maybe.
Yeah, he's going to hand it off to one of the Kardashians or J-Lo or something. I mean, I like Snoop Dogg a little bit and everything, but come on. It reminds me so much of the WWE. Hey, we've got a big WrestleMania that you should be interested in. Oh, but also, I don't know, name the latest hip entertainer will also be there to try to get,
Do you think kids, younger kids know that Snoop Dogg was a rapper?
Oh, yeah.
Do they just see him as, kind of a personality?
I think everyone from 8 to 80 knows who Snoop Dogg is and where he came from.
Maybe not what kind of rapper he was. They might not
I think you
understand.
could draw the line if the Hawk Tuah girl took the torch for a while.
Have you guys ever seen the clip of Snoop and Kevin Hart commenting on the horses?
Yeah.
Yep. Is that why they're bringing him in? Is it because of that clip?
Absolutely. He started calling hockey games for, 5-10 minutes, and then they put him on what else has he been doing? Like you said, a horse show or something.
Baseball games, too.
And that went viral. Everything has to go viral now.
Because his reactions are funny.
Yeah. I don't
when
know.
he said the horse was crip walking.
Yeah.
To me, a little bit of that goes a long way, but whatever. Yes, he's wildly popular, and everyone loves his gimmick, so I don't... Not that I care too much about the Olympics, but I think it's a little silly that he's going to be carrying the torch.
Just hands it to Willie Nelson.
I mean, yeah, look.
I look forward to the photoshops of this, don't you guys?
Oh, God.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a blunt in every one.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Celine Dion. Did you buy her records back when you were a high school kid, Janelle? Did you have all of Celine Dion's compact discs?
I didn't, but I think she's a good singer.
Celine Dion. I remember she sang that song about the boat.
My heart will go on.
She is going to perform one song during the Olympics opening ceremony, and I bet it'll be glorious. And they're going to hand her $2 million in trade.
Dang, for one song.
One song, $2 million.
She's been really sick. This might be it.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised she was going to be able to do
You mean
it.
she's dying?
Well, not dying, but she has something called stiff person syndrome or something
I
like that. I mean, I guess it's a really serious, painful disease, and she hasn't been in the public for a long time.
Oh, well, lick me down. I was unaware of that. Well, it says right here, that's a real term? Stiff person syndrome?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
I have stiff personality syndrome.
There's an example of it right there, I guess.
Well, I thought my little synopsis on next Friday went nowhere.
Dart's at a dartboard.
Nobody bats 1,000, Wapple.
Yeah.
Happens to all of us.
Yeah. Get back in the batter's box
I
and
get
take
back
your cuts.
in that box and I keep swinging.
Hell yeah, you do, pal.
Oh, man.
You ain't no try hard.
No.
Is that? Okay. Stiff person syndrome. I feel great sympathy now for Celine Dion. I'm not gonna say anything about that. Sounds terrible. Is that what Mick Mars drags around?
What's his called?
Mick Mars from Motley Crue.
Well, he's been struggling for a long
Every
time.
move he makes, he looks to be in great pain. Thankfully, he separated himself from that clown show Motley Crue concert that's coming to town.
I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try that.
It's basically a severe arthritis. And there's no way I can say what it's
All
called.
right. Well, that's terrible news on Celine Dion, but she's going to go ahead and sing at the Olympics. Hopefully, she's feeling better and everything. She had that song.
That was a big one.
It was a big hit. It made everybody cry. Yesterday, we had a company meeting, and we were all kind of congratulating ourselves for being successful.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Randy
Shaver,
staff. Right, Janelle?
Yeah.
Right, Janelle?
Yes, Randy.
Yeah.
Right, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, at the company meeting, someone brought up the Motley Crue show coming to town. I wanted to raise my hand and say, do you got a couple spare tickets to that? I love live comedy. Hey, Randy Shaver, you're retired now. You can come in here any morning you want.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you have to let me know when there's a big meeting.
No. Every morning.
Do you want me to lead the meeting? Because I can certainly do that. if you'd like.
That would help.
That would be fun.
You're not going to go on and on the way you and Brad did about the twins, are you?
That was perfect yesterday. It was short and sweet.
Yep, I loved it.
They wrapped that up quick.
You really thought that was short?
Yeah.
It was only a half hour. I thought it was for sure going to go over an hour.
Oh, I thought it was too long.
I'm with Nick. It dragged.
Yeah, went pretty long.
Oh, well, a lot of folks we work with are boring.
It was one of the shorter ones we've ever had.
Wade is boring.
And he always looks like he's about to blow, doesn't he?
He's got problems. Derek is boring. Who else talked?
Derek's always late.
You know what you need is Ryder. She's got to lead those things.
Oh, she's funny.
Only her. I love her.
Eric is boring. So I didn't like it.
You know who was great? Our biggest boss yesterday. We were Randy and Brad and Janelle, you might not know this, but we were asking listeners for suggestions on what Wapple could say at the meeting because we've talked before about people who like to ask a question that really is inappropriate, or they like to wait to the last second to show what a great employee they are. Like, how could we improve?
Right.
So listeners made suggestions on what he could say, and the first thing the big boss said is, "Wapple, is there anything you'd like to lead off?" So she was obviously listening.
That was so fun.
That was good. I got to be honest, I got a little nervous.
So did I.
Oh, God. Here, buckle up.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, man. Hey, listeners.
And Wapple, they're asking about it. Listeners are. Wapple, he complained about the quality of toilet paper.
Yeah, I want better toilet paper around here.
I get it.
It was a meeting about ratings and all finances, and I want better toilet paper.
All right, a couple of websites covered this here deal that I'm about to tell you about. A couple websites covered this, so people must be interested. Maybe you will be, maybe you won't. The special teams coach for the University of Texas football team, all right, the special teams coach for Longhorn football, married a stripper. And apparently a famous stripper known as the Pole Assassin that's her nickname.
Oh, wow.
The Pole Assassin.
That's badass.
Okay. This is Texas Longhorn special teams coordinator Jeff Banks got married over the weekend to his longtime girlfriend Danny Thomas. Didn't he used to sing songs with
with Marlo Thomas?
Yeah. Danny Thomas. Danny with an I. So this guy married a stripper. Her name is Danny Thomas, or as she's known, I guess, by some crowd, the Pole Assassin. Have you heard of her before, anybody?
Yeah.
You have?
She made news when her monkey bit a trick-or-treater. I remember that story being pretty big.
I have no memory of that. Yes, Josh is right. So here's the part. It says here, if Danny Thomas or the pole assassin rings a bell, it's because she is the stripper whose emotional support monkey, which also dances with her on stage, allegedly bit a trick-or-treater a few years ago, and the way the story put it, gave us the college football story of the year. I have no memory of that. I didn't know about her monkey biting a trick-or-treater.
There's so much there. She's got a nickname. She's an exotic dancer. Her monkey is as well, and a bit of trick-or-treater.
Okay. All right. Can we all move on with our lives?
Sure.
Sure.
I really thought that was going to take us in a certain direction, and
I liked it. I think you could tell.
Josh, you made an effort. You made an effort.
I had met a corporate guy, big corporate guy. We were at an event, a radio station event for a fast food restaurant. They were opening a new restaurant, and he was talking about how they have, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens that nobody ever finds out about because they're prepared. They got a whole team ready for crazy stuff. They've got press releases on everything you can imagine. And he had mentioned, for example, recently at a restaurant here in Minnesota, at the time it was recently, he told me the story maybe 10 years ago, there was an employee attacked by a monkey at the drive-thru, and it never made the news. I mean, that's something you'd think would be all over the news. But
a monkey was hanging out inside the restaurant?
No, it was hanging out in somebody's vehicle. And so when the person goes up to get their food, the monkey got upset and jumped out and attacked the drive-thru attendant.
Oh, attacked the person handing out the food.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This stripper lady, the pole assassin, she brings her monkey out onto the stage with her? Mm-hmm. No thanks on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be kind of confused. There'd be some confused feelings, for sure.
Did you got to tip her and the monkey?
I don't know.
I just see Dana putting the dollar bills in the monkey's diaper.
I mean, I don't like to mix the animal kingdom with my filthy side. You know what I'm saying?
And I like that about you. There's some people that do.
Yeah, some people do like that.
It's good to have a code.
If she comes out, ooh, look at this one. Oh, wow, she's sexy. And then out walks a monkey. I'm a little afraid.
Man.
I'm a little afraid.
Now, Ashley, you love strippers.
Yes.
And you love animals. Which are you going to pay more attention to?
The monkey, 100%. I would not be able to take my eyes off of that monkey.
Oh, every damn one of us would do the same thing. Yeah, I would stop looking at the woman and just wonder, what is the story with this stupid monkey?
What is his name? What's going on?
I mean, if he's on a bicycle or something or smoking a cigarette, that's one thing. But if he's just parading around next to her, that's strange.
Yeah, it's weird.
Hey, Janelle.
Yes, Randy.
Just another morning, right?
Just another morning.
This is what you went to journalism school for, isn't it, Janelle?
Just another morning, Janelle.
What do you got, Randy?
just another morning.
Randy, do you think 10 years ago, if we had heard about this monkey at the drive-thru story, it could have made the news at Care 11?
It might have been like the kicker.
It could have been
the before we go.
Yeah, I was going to say, this feels like a typical story right before you sign off.
Yeah, exactly. Before we go.
Yeah.
Brad, and I can guarantee you this restaurant you've been to. You've definitely
Really?
been there, yeah.
So it's in Egan.
Perhaps. One might never say.
Oh, man.
Here's something else that will likely go nowhere. I mean, I understand why Janelle isn't saying anything, but what's going on over there, Ashley and Dana? What was it? Wapple? Monkeys and hookers and what else were we talking about?
What else does the man need to say?
I can see Nick researching this stuff going, oh, this is gold.
I mean, yeah, I thought there's a couple of stories this morning I thought for sure were going to prompt further
God.
Josh is exhausted over here trying to help me out.
I mean, honestly, you have everything you need. Strippers with a nickname Pole Assassin, a monkey who also dances provocatively, and it bit a trick-or-treater. And you're marrying a football coach.
Right. I don't know what I don't know what I have to do around here.
Some stories just write themselves.
Yes.
Not that you care or had any idea that it was even happening, but did you know that they played the Arena Football Championship last weekend at a shopping mall in New Jersey?
It looked awesome.
Yeah, it did look kind of awesome.
That's when you know you made it big. When you're apparently the Arena Football League still happened. Last I think we read about it, the local team played a game.
We were out, yeah.
Boy, that wasn't a very long season. That feels like it just happened like 2 months ago.
Okay. I had forgotten all about it, but they played the championship game. And
Well, Brad, it's a short season when there's only 4 teams in the league.
Right. You go round robin so many times.
Yeah, how many times can you play each other?
You can play Billings only so many times.
The word is that originally the title game was going to be played here in Minneapolis at Target Center. But when we lost our club, it no longer was considered a destination. Why they couldn't find a spare hockey rink, I don't know, but they decided to do it at a damn shopping mall. The game was broadcast, it says here, on the CBS Sports Network. I wish I would have caught a few minutes of this. Many of the fans in attendance were just mall goers with a bag over their shoulder who were shoe shopping and whatnot.
What are they doing down there?
How confused would you be?
They had this designated area. Apparently, it worked out fine because this mall in New Jersey had a designated area where they're building a hockey rink so you can skate around on the insides of the mall. So they had that was close enough for them to put down some turf and play a game of arena football. People are laughing at this, but as a lot of you know, Tiffany got her start at a mall.
Yeah, she was like the mall queen.
If it's good enough for Tiffany, hey, WCW Monday Nitro got their start at a mall.
Yeah, there's wrestling events.
Yeah, First Wrestling's doing, I think they're the 3rd now coming up in the Rotunda at the Mall of America.
I don't know why I want to talk about this, but I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago, I had to cover an Iowa Barnstormers football game. Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah.
So, no clue. Indoor football league, which I guess is, I don't know.
This is the arena. Yeah, that's the
arena. Indoor football. Whatever the hell.
Yeah. And anyway, the coolest thing ever happened there where they were celebrating Bacon Fest in Des Moines that weekend.
Oh, heck yeah.
And they parachuted little Ziploc bags of bacon from the ceiling down into the crowd. It was the coolest thing I've ever been
little
part of.
baggies of cooked bacon.
Of cooked bacon. And so people are like reaching up, grabbing for the bacon, eating it in the stand.
That's funny.
That is
That
really
is so Iowa. That is so Iowa.
Nothing defines Iowa more than that story.
I thought it was cool enough. The one and only Swarm game I went to, Chipotle had some drones flying around and they dropped like chips and guac gift certificates.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And everyone in the crowd chants chips and guac.
Yeah, everybody
chips
goes,
and guac.
That's awesome.
What about the burrito launcher?
That's cool too.
What club pulled that gimmick a few years ago?
It was a baseball team, minor league.
What? No. It was in town. I was at a game where someone fired up a burrito launcher.
Oh, wow.
Was it the Wolves? Maybe the Wolves tried it once, maybe?
Maybe they used it with that T-shirt cannon or something.
Yeah, that's what
it
used.
looked like.
Yeah, they used
Dangerous.
They used a T-shirt cannon and fired burritos at us. I don't remember what it was. It had to have been maybe I don't go to Vikings games. It had to have been the Wolves or somebody, and I think it was a one-time deal. I thought it was great. A burrito launcher. I wanted to be the burrito launcher. You know what I mean? I wanted to fire
the launchee.
Launchee, yeah.
Launchee is who has it launched at them. I want to be the launcher and hit some smart-ass kid in the gap or something and have some fun.
I feel like you could really hurt somebody with a burrito gun if you got
That's
too
exactly
close.
what I'm going for.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I think specifically he said he'd like to injure a child.
Stripper on stage with a monkey, and it got us nowhere.
Hey, man, I was with you the whole time.
I know you were.
I'll always be there for you.
Oh, God. All right. Janelle, you going to stick around with us? I hope you are.
Yes, please.
Even after all that?
You're already knee deep. You might as well stay.
Keep going.
Sorry, Janelle, we locked the doors.
Yeah, exactly.
There's another meeting after the show today they might want to have.
What do you got cooking, Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder?
I have some podcast interviews to do this afternoon. So
I was just going to ask, can you give us more info on where people can find it and when it starts?
It starts on Monday. And if people want to find it, it's going to be on talknorth.com. It's going to be on YouTube because it's a video podcast. It's going to be on Podbean. Does that sound right?
Yep.
I'm not real familiar with all of the all of the podcast terms, but it'll be on
OnlyFans.
Wherever you get podcasts, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, all those places.
You want me to forward you that story about the monkey stripper?
Oh yeah, you guys.
It doesn't quite fit into the genre that we're talking about. So,
Boy, I hope you have a great editor.
I do, actually.
A great editor.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to today. I'm interviewing Blake Cashman from the Vikings. And guess who's coming in studio with me today?
Snoop Dogg.
Matt Burke.
Matt Burke.
Yeah,
nice.
Mr.
That's cool. Matty Burke. And we're going to talk a little high school football with Matt Burke today.
Thanks, boys.
See ya.
Janelle Klein will be coming back here with us in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.
It's kickoff time, and Believe podcasts are here to get you ready for the season.
This team, they looked to figure it out, and they said, okay, we got a shot at this thing.
With Believe, you get immediate reactions, game previews, and expert analysis from all 32 teams, plus all of your favorite college teams.
This is a true junior that we're talking about.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
The running was good. His size is unbelievable.
Just search Believe. That's BLEAV podcast, wherever you listen.
Care 11's Janelle Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Janelle Klein, Jungle Jane, is hanging out with us this morning, and it's wonderful. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Let's try this. Let's try this cute little Twitter gimmick here. This comes straight off of that Twitter setup. Anyone on Twitter right now? Janelle, I saw you playing with a cellular telephone.
I mean, I'll get on Twitter.
Oh, you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Just want to know if you checked it out. Have you checked it out this morning? What's going on Twitter?
The usual nonsense.
Do you check that very often? Are you on?
Once in a blue moon. I have to use it for work, so I'm on it more than I would like to be.
What would you say? What is the social media you're on the most?
You guys know I'm not a huge social media fan, but probably that, because I don't really use Facebook. Instagram once in a while, LinkedIn once in a while, but yeah, probably Twitter.
TikTok?
I'm not a TikToker.
TikTok, he says.
That's the hot thing.
I know.
My wife sends me a lot of TikTok videos all the time. She sent me one today.
Man, I'm jealous.
Am I missing out, do you think, Josh? You watch
No.
those? Should I get on it?
Well, I'll tell you this. If you like Great Dane videos, my wife can hook you up.
It's basically exactly what you have on your Instagram Reels, Janelle. So you have no reason for a TikTok,
Yeah.
really.
Okay.
That's what I use Instagram for, is all
Yeah.
the photos, and then they have a lot of funny videos that I like.
Yeah.
I always like the people who have to justify why they're on social media. That means you're on there too much, Wapple, if you felt the need to justify what exactly you're looking at, right, Josh? Isn't that
He
suspicious?
qualifies it with, well, here, yeah, I'm on it, but for this reason.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
You feel some shame about it. Let's get into that a little bit.
That's
I'm sorry
shady.
we're out of time.
It's shady.
I go to the bathroom a lot. I mean, that's when I use it.
A cute little Twitter gimmick here. Are you ready? Congratulations. You just won a lifetime supply of the last thing you bought. What did you win? Go.
Hey, I'm cool with that. I just bought this ice-cold can of Diet Mountain Dew.
All right, Mountain Dew. You just won a lifetime supply of the last thing you bought. What did you win? Wapple.
By the way, I want to apologize to the people at Pepsi. You're going to have to lay off a lot of people with how much this is going to cost you.
Mine would be gas.
Dana.
Oh, dude.
Mouth guards to stop me from grinding my teeth when I sleep.
Well, now you got a lifetime supply of that.
I got plenty.
Just every day when you wake up, throw it away.
Yeah.
The other girl.
Are you talking about Ashley?
Actually, an e-cig, so I'm okay with that.
Oh, an e-cig.
Yeah, it looks like I'm never going to quit tobacco.
And those cost a lot, so that'll save you some money.
What's your deal?
Oh, are they expensive? I assumed there was like printers where you buy the printer for $20 and then the ink is going to bankrupt you.
It depends what you buy. I have disposable e-cigs, so they probably last me about 5-6 days, and they're about $20 a piece.
What's the deal with you and tobacco? Have you been trying to quit?
No.
Well, then forget it. You just won a lifetime supply of the last thing you bought. What did you win, Janelle?
I just took it out of my purse right now. A giant package of Bitto honeys.
Oh my gosh.
Janelle's gonna love that.
I don't remember the last time I don't remember the last time I've seen, heard, or certainly had a bit of honey.
Well, you're missing out, Josh.
Yeah, my last time was when Janelle was in our studio.
Yeah. She went on about how she gets this big bag of Bitto honeys from, what was it, Menards or Fleet Farm?
Fleet
Janelle?
Farm.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Fleet Farm, that's my jam.
I know.
That is a delicious candy.
I love it so much.
Janelle went through her candies, and it was like all old people candies, like Werther's, Bitto honey.
Yeah, what else do you have?
Lifesavers.
Wait a minute. Old people don't eat Old people do not eat Bitto honey.
Oh, that's my
because that would drag your friggin' teeth right out of your gums.
They don't have teeth.
Well, then how the hell do they eat Bitto honey?
They just sit there and suck on it.
HVAC delivery Jesus said, hell yes, cheeseburgers. A lifetime supply of cheeseburgers.
For me, it would be kitty litter and Cheez-Its, I guess. If I just won a lifetime supply of the last thing that I bought.
I should look back and see before the Diet Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I wish I had a cooler answer than mouth guards.
Yeah, that's lame data.
Yeah, I know.
That seems very you, though.
Yeah.
You're right, though. You're right, Josh. You don't hear a hell of a lot about Bitto honey candy, but Janelle's keeping them going.
Janelle even likes the Tootsie Rolls that are flavored, too.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah.
Who the hell doesn't?
I used to be pretty pumped when I'd get those in my trick-or-treat
What
bag.
did you just do, Janelle?
She showed me a
I
wrapper.
also just ate a Tootsie Roll.
I missed that. I'm just sharing the studio for that reason. I always loved you snacking on your little candies.
You and my wife are dentist dreams. I mean,
Honestly.
she has a sweet tooth like you do.
I know. We have not yet been together and really gone down that road, but I feel like it's coming.
Yeah, you guys should just go out for the world's longest dessert. And most expensive dessert.
That's right.
Wow, one of our listeners won a lifetime supply of Pall Mall cigarettes.
I haven't thought about those in a while either.
They're
Lifetime
delicious.
supply of circus peanuts, this person says.
Gross.
Lifetime
Circus
supply of hookers, says mediocre machine.
Whoa, what were you doing last night? Or earlier this morning, I guess.
All right, Josh. Josh, are you happy here at work?
I am.
Janelle, how's work? Are you happy?
Yeah.
You know you're not.
Are you asking me about coming here? Because I'm super happy about coming here.
You would be happy, according to a new report, you'd be happy if you worked construction. For those of you who aren't happy in your current gig, they say here you would be if you worked construction or if you did other people's taxes. Or, of course, if you just sat at home and did nothing. I know a couple people who come from money and don't have to work at all. Now, that's happiness.
That's got to be nice.
That's happiness.
I think I'd want to do something, but it would just be whatever I want, and as soon as I got tired of it, I could move on to the next thing.
I'd probably work part-time at a gas station and sell Bitto honeys to Janelle Klein.
Yeah.
Did you guys take the test associated with this article?
I did not know there was a test.
Yeah, there was. I took it, and I didn't understand it at all. It was very confusing.
There's not much you can tell us.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth your time.
It tested. Here's what I understand. There was a report put out on the happiest industries, and it analyzed things like culture, values, diversity, inclusion, work-life balance, monies, career opportunities, and senior management, whatever that means. So you answered a bunch of questions, I'm guessing, Josh. Through this test, you answered a bunch of questions on those subjects?
Yes.
A little confusing, huh?
Yeah, well, the answers are, like it said, careers for me are conventional, whatever that means. It said I'm an organizer and orderly, dedicated to work, known for endurance and menial tasks that others may shy away from.
Oh, I can't argue with what I did understand right there. But is the goal of the test to tell you whether you are happy or not, or whether you're...
No, just what would be a good job for you. I think this is like a recruiting site or something like that, or, or a job placement.
So what did they tell you your chosen gig should be?
Let me go back down. It's like they spit out just pages upon pages.
Okay.
Number one, actuary. Actually, these are in alphabetical order. So like computer science, economics, engineer. I mean, all these things that math teacher. I mean, math.
You could handle anything. You really could.
I don't know about that. Real estate agent.
My boyfriend's dad is an actuary, and when I've asked him, like, oh, what does that include? He loses me within the first 2 seconds. It sounds like a really boring job.
They have broadcast journalism on here.
Well, that's what we do, right?
I don't know about the journalism part.
Well, but that's it.
There's a microphone.
Forget
involved.
about that friggin' part. Yeah.
Modeling, it says.
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm assuming it has nothing to do with aesthetics. It must be you're making something.
Well, you have models
musician.
before, haven't you?
Yes, I am a professional model, technically.
Despite your crippling anxiety and self-esteem issues, I think you could handle any effing gig.
I don't.
Because of your level of commitment and dedication and organization, I think you could handle any gig.
Well, you're very kind.
I agree.
So, through all of this information, this report, this study, the test that you take, they determined that the happiest gig in all the land is working in construction.
I could see the appeal. I don't, I know like your body takes a toll.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the biggest downside, I think.
But I can definitely see the appeal when I used to landscape and even mowing lawns. I loved those jobs because you saw immediately what you did.
Satisfying.
Yeah. We made that or we did this.
Yep. We got a new roof the other day, and I was watching them. When I got home, saw the guys up there. They had a cooler full of Gatorades. They're playing tunes. They seem to have it's like one of those jobs you don't have to take anything home with you. You just kind of leave it behind, and you put it in your shift, and you go home.
Yeah, I thought, we had some work done at our place recently, and I thought, man, I'd love to sit on an upside-down Home Depot bucket and text my friends all day. While getting paid for it.
My dad has been in construction his whole entire life, and he'd probably agree with this, it makes him very happy. He couldn't imagine him... I couldn't imagine him doing anything else.
And I know this probably isn't everybody's experience, but I always thought, the brotherhood, quote unquote, of some of those jobs where you're busting balls and you hopefully enjoy who you're working with. And, because I remember just going from place to place, you're in the truck, and a lot of that was some of my favorite times, just BSing in the vehicles and stuff like that. And then getting made fun of for how often I pee, and then they get pissed at me like, do we have to stop at every gas station?
It's also one of those jobs that you acquire a skill eventually. So if you oh cool, at your job you know how to put up sheetrock. Well, now you know how to redo your bedroom at home. It's useful.
Even if I did know how to do that stuff, I bet I'd pass it on to somebody else. So anyway, I want to go back to what Dana was saying. I am so jealous of my pals for exactly what Dana was explaining. As soon as that whistle friggin' blows, they do not have to think at all about the next day until they friggin' show up.
Yeah, there's something about that.
And I'm not trying to, I hope it doesn't come off like I'm, belittling them. They admit, yeah, that's how it is for them. And I'm jealous of it because, believe it or not, this friggin' gig, sure, we do the program, I go home, I get off every single stitch of clothing that I'm wearing, okay?
Send me a couple of photos.
I gorge myself with junk food, I take a little nappy nap, and then it immediately begins again. There's this to handle for the next show. There's that to handle. Are we going to interview this? Call that person, text this person, edit this story, that story. That, it drives me crazy. Do I miss those old days when I would be done with my factory job or whatever the hell I was doing, and I could just blow my brains out until 1 minute before the next day's work started. At any rate, let me blow through the rest of this. The happiest gigs, when they measured out all these factors, construction was number one, followed by accounting and taxes. You're adding other folks. Finances up. You're what's the word? An accountant.
That sounds off.
Yeah,
that sounds what?
terrible to me.
Yeah.
Being an accountant?
Yeah.
I think if you could do a job where you're helping folks, like you mentioned earlier, Ashley, about a financial planner or something like that. where you're trying to put people in a better situation. And you're skimming a lot off the side, kind of screwing them, behind the scenes. There'd be some satisfaction.
True.
Selling them whole life insurance and things like that.
God.
The rest,
so petty.
The rest of the list of apparently happy gigs is followed by manufacturing, building stuff.
Anybody here ever do that? Did you do that, Nick, at any years?
I don't exactly know what they mean by what do they mean by manufacturing.
Like an assembly line or something. Someone has a different job and then put this part on that part.
Well, sort of. I mean, the extent of the manufacturing that I did was pounding a lid on a bucket. Does that count?
Yeah, sure. I guess.
We made ceiling texture and wall texture in massive vats, which was fun, although it almost killed me one day. And then, once the product is finished, we pour it over and over again into 2-gallon buckets, put those son bitches on a pallet, and put it on a truck. Bound for Eau Claire. Yeah, I loved those gigs. Mostly because, like I said, when it was over, I could completely shut myself off until 1 minute before I was due there the next day.
I'll try anything 4 times. Jesus said he works in park maintenance. He said it's the satisfaction of mowing, but with more hot moms. Yeah, if we ever get fired or whatever, my body couldn't handle landscaping anymore, but I'd love to work for the city of Eagan doing something, running around doing something.
There was great satisfaction in driving the Zamboni, seeing the finish, you polish up the ice, make it all neat and nice for everybody. There was satisfaction in that. And there's of course there's satisfaction involved in this job. It's just not instant. There's a different feeling.
Care 11's Janelle Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, we can continue our conversation now on how happy we are in our current jobs. The answer is not very.
I don't think that's the case.
Not very. A new report on the happiest industries. They measured this and studied that and talked to folks about the other thing and came up with the happiest gigs you could possibly land. Number 1 we covered is, according to the report, construction, followed by accounting and taxes, manufacturing, tech. Finally, there was healthcare in there. Got some text messages. Some of you just want to dispute that number 1 answer of the happiest industry being construction. Some of you want to dispute that. Says here, 12 to 14-hour days, no lunch, swass. I got to take a poop in a blue sauna. I love construction, they say.
I've heard horror stories of that.
Whoever said construction workers are the happiest has obviously never worked construction, says another listener. I've been here 30 years. I wish I raced cars or golfed instead.
I cursed my parents for not getting me into some sort of motorsport. That sounds like a great job.
Helicopter.
Helicopter fixer Orshizis has been an interstate commercial driver for years and loves it. Drops her cargo, gets on her way. The items are then someone else's problem, she said. Never bring work home. It's great.
It just makes me sad when I hear someone say, sad and jealous, that they never bring work home. I'm going to crack, Janelle Klein. I am going to crack. I'm going to end up nude, running through the streets, covered in feces, not my own, screaming nondescript things about show prep or so. I'll end up in a friggin' rubber room because this stupid gig, it doesn't end. It doesn't.
I get it.
And I hate it.
I know.
You might think he's joking around.
No, he's not. More texts on construction being the happiest industry. Here's a listener who says, I've been in construction for 20 years already, and I'm only 35. How happy do you think I'm going to be when I'm 65? So they're disputing the answer being number 1. Although here's this guy, Josh, which mirrors something you said earlier. The real Deez's Jesus. Checking in from his construction job right now, getting paid to watch his coworker slave away while he's sitting on a Home Depot bucket listening to our radio show.
That's a good gig.
I can totally believe that because that's one of my buddies.
He does that too? Does Home Depot, they know what they're doing with those 5-gallon bucket chairs.
Yeah, they're chairs.
The real D's is Jesus is one of my buddies.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
So you know it's true.
All right. In this report, they also talked about, the industries that rank the lowest for happiness. I don't know. They say retail and commerce. Janelle, can you explain to me what that means?
Like being a store clerk? Is that what they mean?
Yep.
You know, have you heard how much like a Walmart manager or some of those, like a manager for one of the stores
No.
makes? Like you're the GM, whatever they call it, the biggest
Sure,
managers.
sure.
Like in the $250,000 range, I believe.
Oh!
Jeez.
Let me look that up to make sure I'm not insane.
Yeah, GMs at McDonald's make a lot of money too. I've learned that when I was working there.
Retail and commerce.
Okay, so Google, like the first thing that pops up on Google says anywhere between 90 and 170,000. I heard even more.
Dang.
Oh, here it says, you can earn up to 225,000.
Do they give you a free car and cell phone and stuff like that too?
Boy, I don't know why.
Yes,
well, I
but
can't
you-
Google that much stuff all at once.
My bad.
Yeah, I know. When I worked at Enterprise Car Rental, the managers, like the regional managers and stuff, they all got company cars, company phones, and they were really set up nicely.
Janelle, what were some of the gigs you had before you got into television?
Oh, God.
Did you do retail and commerce? Did you sell? Would you work at a clothing store or anything like that?
I was a waitress through high school. And then I worked at a newspaper as a newspaper writer.
Oh, I remember you telling us about this.
Yeah.
And that sounded like kind of a cool gig.
That was fun. I
Yeah.
was in high school. I
Did
was
you have
in-
a pseudonym or anything?
No, God, no. I'm not that cool.
You weren't. Who's the famous? Is it Dear Abby?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, those sound like decent gigs.
And then I think I told you guys, I mean, really, I've always had a second job, especially when I got into TV because you don't make anything. So I sold beer at a beer garden.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. At a racetrack.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was, and then I did replay for hockey games on the side.
Replay. What do you mean?
Well, like you're in the truck and like a goal is scored, and then you're the person that cues up, like, okay, this is where they're gonna,
The fancy editing machines.
Yeah,
Oh.
I did that. I don't know.
Okay. I remember you telling us about all of those gigs, with the exception, I think, of the editing replay hockey.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Sometimes I feel like I make myself too cool on this program.
Well, it can be a problem.
And a lot of people are like, God, Mr. Cool Guy sharing another really cool story. What a badass.
Talk to us.
Did I ever tell you that I was a, I don't know what you, Janelle, you'd know the term better, but like a entertainment reporter, basically, for my middle school newspaper.
Whoa! That's awesome.
Maybe not in entertainment, like what was specifically school related, something around the school. And it's a play on my last name, but it was Bits and Pieces.
Do you still have the articles, and could you bring them in?
My mom might.
Oh,
I
my
don't-
God.
so cute.
Please bring them in.
But yeah, we had a little published newspaper.
That's so cute.
Bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces.
Dude.
Again, it's a play on my last name.
I mean,
love
it
it.
sort of sets you up for your job now.
You think so?
Well, you're talking about what's going on.
So you had to collect all the information as to what was going on at your
Like,
junior
what was-
high.
Yeah, like hip in town.
There's a dance this weekend.
Yep, exactly.
Why we're switching to sweet potato fries.
Bingo.
And it was titled Bits and Pieces, and then your name was at the bottom. Everyone knew you were the author of these.
Yeah, and then it would be like something like, hey, you know what we'd eat at this school? Like that kind of thing, like opinion pieces and stuff like that.
Oh, you would offer up your opinion.
Yeah, it was a
on,
little of everything.
Let's dummy down the price on chocolate milk and
Right.
things like that. Did you ever?
You know what else? All girls should start dating nerds, especially ones that write for the paper.
Did people approach you in the hallway and say, "Hey, look, my cover band's got a show this weekend at the local church. Will you put us in bits and pieces?"
All that kind of stuff. Yep, you nailed it.
Dude. All right, here's the other unhappy industries. According to this wacky report, again, I don't know if I should take it seriously because they named construction as the happiest industry, and all the construction workers texted in and said that they're miserable. Okay. Not a good gig. We covered retail and commerce as far as happiness goes. Legal, working as a lawyer or at a law office. Well, my mother, for many, 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 many years, was a paralegal and a legal secretary. And although she didn't seem like the happiest person in the world when she got home, she really liked her coworkers. They had a lot of fun. I mean,
that makes such a difference.
Tourism, not a happy industry, according to this report.
Really?
And I don't exactly know how to. What are we talking about there?
Yeah, are you like a travel agent, or are you someone that works for like Explore Minnesota?
I don't know. I just don't know. Transport and logistics, so I can be further confused. And hospitality. Hospitality. So that means maybe a waiter or a waitress.
Yep.
Oh, I could never do that.
I think, the
was
more
rough.
where you're the face interacting with the public, it seems those are the jobs people don't like because the public lately sucks.
They do.
Yep, absolutely. I can imagine being a server or bartender during like the heightened years of COVID. That would have been absolutely awful.
Coming up in next week's edition of Bits and Pieces.
What's
I'll
the
tell
deal
you.
with assigned parking spaces for teachers? That's where we play Foursquare.
Oh my God. Please bring those articles in.
I'll have test maybe if my mom's listening, she can let me know if she saved any.
Have you seen Mr. O'Neill's hernia? Next week on Bits and Pieces.
I still do have. I mean, I have a report I wrote on Randy Rhoads, the deceased guitar player of Ozzy Osbourne. I worship, and still do worship Randy Rhoads. And so I wrote that, and it was so serious to me, and I don't think anybody else took it as serious as I did.
That was in Bits and Pieces?
No, that one wasn't published.
Oh.
Sponsored by Clearasil.
Yeah, and High C Fruit Punch.
Oh, man. Talented writer he was, my life partner,
I don't
Cubby.
know about that.
Talented writer.
Got published in the school,
I thought you won some kind of awards.
Yeah, I thought you did too.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to tell us about the awards you won with your writing?
I don't know. It seems kind of douchey to bring it up.
No.
Save the chicks
I asked
for the
you
rest
about
of us.
it. I asked you about it. I brought it up.
Yeah, I'm a two-time Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. award winner for a couple of pieces. But again, that was back in day of bits and pieces, like 7th and 8th grade.
Okay.
Or no, actually, I take that back. That was high school, so 9th and 10th grade.
So awards for Bits and Pieces, and then also don't forget that band award.
Oh, yeah, the Louis Armstrong Jazz Band Award.
Yeah.
They just give
the saxophone.
No, I played bass and guitar, but they just give that to the senior that they feel they should give something to. I'm a senior.
Come on. And then all the while he's modeling.
What an accomplished life.
I mean, right?
It sounds better than it is
What
in
an
certain.
overachiever from an early age.
I peaked in 8th grade.
He got his achieving done early.
Yeah, it's been downhill since then.
Janelle, have a wonderful week, will you?
Thanks, you guys.
And thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Celebrate Christmas in July with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get huge savings with $1,776 off a new multi-head ductless system. Visit standardheating.com to discover all the goodies in Santa's bag.